Your mind is software. Program it. Your body is a shell. Change it. Death is a disease. Cure it. Extinction approaches. Fight it. Welcome to Leashing Barguests. I am your host, Fishy, and tonight, for a change and for the first time on this channel, we will be doing an actual play. We will be playing Eclipse Phase 2nd Edition, the Quickstart adventure Acrimony, which is available free from Post-Human Studios website or from places like Drive-Thru RPG. Rather than try and explain it myself, I'm simply going to read the What is Eclipse Phase from the Quickstart for you to begin with. So, what is Eclipse Phase? In Eclipse Phase, you play a secret agent protecting the scattered remnants of transhumanity from threats that could wipe it out once and for all. You are transhuman. You are genetically modified, physically and mentally augmented, and functionally immortal. Your mind can be digitally backed up like a save point. If you die, you can be brought back, your ego, both consciousness and memories, physically restored. You may also copy your mind and download it into a body of your choice. This new body, your morph, can be biological, a synthetic robot shell, or a digital infomorph. Your body is essentially gear that you customize according to your mission and requirements. Eclipse Phase takes place in a future of exponentially accelerating technological progress. Developments in the key fields of artificial intelligence, neuroscience, genetic engineering, nanotechnology, and information science have converged into an impressive feedback loop. Bodies and minds are shaped and augmented. AIs and animals are uplifted to human levels of sapience. Everything and everyone is laden with sensors, networked and online. Your mind can communicate with every electronic device around it. Almost anything can be 3D printed from constituent atoms with a nanofiber and blueprints. Technology allows people to live happier, healthier lives, emancipated from need. Such advances also have their downsides. The wonders of the future are not yet evenly distributed. The immortal rich continue to concentrate their wealth and power while others struggle to survive. Surveillance is omnipresent, and the means exist to hack people's minds and memories, copy them entirely, and/or commit them to virtual slavery. Many technological advances are super empowering, putting the means for mass devastation in everyone's hands. Efforts to restrict such tools are doomed to fail. Only our own maturity as a species can save us. This bit is not in the book. We're doomed. Exemplifying these dangers, Eclipse Phase takes place 10 years after transhumanity has lost a war with a group of super-intelligent, self-improving AIs. 95% of the population was lost during this apocalyptic conflict, many of them forcibly uploaded by the Titan machine gods before they disappeared. Thousands more were corrupted and transformed by an alien exsurgent virus. The Earth is ruined and off-limits, overrun by machines and monsters. The survivors evacuated the planet and spread throughout the solar system, expanding our off-world colonies out of desperation and necessity. Many escaped only as refugees with nothing but their bodiless minds. The nations and superpowers of the old world are gone, decapitated and dismantled. New political blocs and factions have formed, loosely divided between the inner and outer systems. The capitalist economies of the inner system, Luna, Mars, and Venus, continue to enforce scarcity and intellectual property. They are dominated by the Planetary Consortium, a hypercore-led entity that prioritizes business interests and that has declared Mars the new homeworld of transhumanity. Their habitats are identified by the influence of media and mimetic conflict on civil discourse, the legalities and security restrictions that keep their populations safe, a lingering distrust of AIs and uplifts, and sharp class divisions. While socialites and hyper-elites play and prosper, many refugees have resorted to selling their labor as indentured servants to afford cheap, mass-produced synthetic bodies, the clanking masses. The outer system is the stronghold of the Autonomist Alliance, a mutual aid network of anarchists and techno-socialists. In these communalist territories, well, I don't know quite what they've got against the word communist, but communalist territories, currency is obsolete and unrestricted nanofabrication means that everyone has the necessities and tools they need. People create rather than consume. Reputation, not wealth, mediates the exchange of information and services. Many habitats operate without government, laws, or police, relying instead on a voluntary and cooperative structures, real-time online referendums, and collective militias. The outer system is a patchwork of political, economic, and social experimentation. Interspersed among these major factions, other transhuman clades build their own societies. Criminal cartels feed black markets, radical scientists work to democratize science, aesthete mercenaries offer their services, pirates prey on the unwary, and isolationists filter their communities from outside influences. Even bioconservatives, distrustful of transhuman technologies, thrive on, fearing for our species' future. The war with the Titan AIs scarred more than Earth. Zones on Luna, Mars, and Saturn's moon... I have no idea how you pronounce that. Iapetus. Would that be Iapetus? We'll go with we'll go with Iapetus, shall we? Remain under machine influence. Of greater impact, however, are the mysterious Pandora gates discovered around the system. These wormhole gates open to extrasolar systems, thousands of exoplanets and alien mysteries. Intrepid gatecrashers explore these new horizons, colonizing worlds and uncovering the remnants of extinct civilizations. While no living sapient species has been found beyond the gates, transhumanity has had its first encounters with alien life within our own solar system. A starfaring species known as the Factors visits regularly, though the true nature and intentions of these laconic amoeboid merchants remain unknown. Ultimately, Eclipse Phase is a game of transhuman survival. Aside from the threat that the Titans will return, we face existential risks, X-risks, that endanger our future as a species. These include weapons of mass destruction, artifacts from beyond the Pandora gates, salvaged Titan technology, exurgent infection breakouts, alien threats, stellar phenomena, and the dangers we pose to ourselves. Our species is in a deteriorating orbit around the black hole of extinction. Will our conflicts steer us into the event horizon, or will we evolve and cooperate to escape the gravity well and reach new frontiers? Will we be recognizable when we get there? Eclipse Phase is an exploration of uncertain futures. This is more than a tabletop role-playing game. It's a detailed science fiction setting that thoroughly investigates issues that affect our future as a species. The crux of Eclipse Phase emphasizes the nature of transhumanity as it transforms itself, mentally and physically, on the edge of becoming something post-human. This is a setting that speaks to the immense dangers that technology offers us, but that balances this outlook by considering how science can be used to improve ourselves, enhance cooperation, counteract these risks, and prosper. There is danger, but there is also hope. And that is Eclipse Phase. Rather than introducing my players today, I will be instead jumping straight into this game. We're trying to squeeze as much of this quick play, which I estimate if we were to play this the way we normally play a game would be 3 or 4 sessions, into one stream. So there's going to be quite a lot of skipping ahead that will be going on in this. I will introduce the players as we meet their characters, and that is going to start with Druttercup. Now, if you're watching this stream, the chances are you do not need me to explain who Druttercup is to you. But just on the off chance, Drut is a fellow streamer, a good friend of mine, an excellent GM, and also a freelance RPG writer who has worked for people like Artalsaurian Games and Loki Battlemats. I'm now going to unmute my Discord so that you can actually hear the people that I'm playing with. Drut. Hello.
Apparently this is the voice I'm now using today. Okay, fine.
That will work fine.
Of me. Yeah.
So
it's also the one that's easiest on it.
At this point, I'm also going to turn on desktop audio because I have got some sound set up on Sirenscape, which hopefully will not be too loud. I think actually I will turn it down a little bit.
Are you going to stream your audio to the Discord channel?
I was not going to bother
so we can hear it
to the Discord channel because I thought that would just be too much hassle. It'll sound
okay.
cool on stream, but not so much for you guys. I do apologise for that. Normally I
Okay,
do that the other way around.
That's okay.
Okay, so
My coat is
Draft.
made entirely of zips. Okay. Hello.
Kai's eyes open to a white ceiling. It's clinical and very much an obvious medical facility. You have been re-sleeved enough times in the past to know that what you are looking at is the ceiling of a re-sleeving room. To your right, a medtech in the traditional white lab coat is poking at you and checking on a tablet for things like vital signs. As you come to consciousness, you realize two things. Firstly, that this is not where you should be. The last memory you have is going for a backup immediately before deploying on an operation to an asteroid known as Kongyun. Secondly, that according to your mesh inserts, 10 days has passed since that backup. The technician shines a light in your eyes and starts to say, "Can you tell me your name?" But as they do so, a second voice talks over them. Kai, welcome back. We have things to talk about. As you no doubt know, things did not go well on your last mission. Looking over, you see a familiar figure, a man called Elyadir, or who goes by the name Elyadir. It's a code name. People in Firewall always use code names, and indeed you are agents of Firewall, an organization which exists to protect humanity from existential threats. Unfortunately, with no real government in this future, there is no backup to Firewall other than Firewall themselves. In some situations you may work with other organizations and local governments. In other situations you may work behind their backs. And in some you may even be working against them when it is they themselves who are deemed a threat to transhumanity. Elyadir is your handler, or in Firewall terms, your proxy. And he is the man who gives you your missions. Without waiting to see whether you are following him, he turns and starts to walk towards a door into the next room. As he does so, he continues to speak. What he talks about is a briefing which, to your mind, is extremely fresh. You had it literally 5 minutes ago in your memory. That briefing, which he unnecessarily reminds you of, is as follows. You were being sent to Kongyun to meet with a triad contact there, one Mariposa Chen. She was instrumental on a previous operation which you weren't involved in, and you were being sent to deliver her payment. Exactly what that payment was, you were never told, and exactly what the operation she was involved in was, you were never told. You were simply given a steel case, locked, and told that arrangements had been made for you to travel out to Kongyun, meet with Ms. Chen, and deliver the goods. As you step through the door following Elyadir into the next room, you see a briefing room. There's a table in the middle with some very high-tech chairs around it, which, by using complicated nanotechnology, are capable of reshaping. This is because of the number of different possible body forms that could feature in this room. There are very obvious humanoid ones, like the self-morph that you are wearing. There are also any number of weird things. Not only have certain animals been uplifted, such as birds and apes and dolphins, but also there are biologically cloned, essentially, genetically engineered versions of those body forms available for anybody to download into. There are also mechs in various different shapes and sizes. On a platform, essentially, that can at other times be a chair, is one such mech. And floating in a holographic form, in fact, probably not floating, let's say perched, virtually perched on the back of another chair in holographic form, is a bird. You know both of these, well, I say you know both of these people. You will, when they introduce themselves, know both of these people. In fact, one of them you may recognize anyway, because that is their standard infomorph form. These are firewall agents, sentinels that you have worked with before. Eliudir, as you are walking in, says, "Since things didn't go well last time, this time we're sending you with some backup." And at this point, it's time to bring in the other players and have them... the important thing is that you introduce your characters. You know, who are you playing? What is your background? What is your morph? And also, when we'll come back to Drat afterwards to do this for Kai, what are your motivations as given on your character sheet? Motivations are an actual mechanic in Eclipse Phase. They're a very RP mechanic, but one of the things that they let you do is when you act towards your motivations properly, I can help you by adding, resetting points in your pools that you have already spent. So motivations are quite important in that respect. So shall we start with Chrono Magistrate? You feel free to introduce yourself, Chrono Magistrate. I am not saying you can't. I'm just saying that the characters are the important thing, and whatever you want to say about yourself along with it.
Yeah, likewise. I'm sure most people here know who I am. I am Anil, aka Chrono, aka Chrono Magistrate, and you can find me in all the usual places. I am playing Zakiri, and the first thing that you notice about this morph form is that it is quite large and heavily armored. Because I am in, what the quick play calls an arachnoid body, which those of you who know me might find this a little weird given my arachnophobia, but I think I can overcome that for you if I consider this more like it's an articulated, and has a hard carapace. It doesn't have to necessarily be a spider. But
it's like a Tachikoma on steroids.
Yeah, like it's more. If I consider it more like Tachikoma, that's
with a gun.
Yeah.
The artwork is very much. It looks more scorpion-like than spider-like. Which
Yeah.
obviously is.
I'm not sure.
I'm
that
okay.
helps.
But
I'm better with scorpions than. To be fair, I am better with scorpions than spiders. I can actually look at scorpions. So,
okay.
So where a scorpion tail would be, there is a rotating gun emplacement. That I don't. The face doesn't exactly have compound eyes. It just has like an LED bank or like screen that will flash with what emotions Zahiri is capable of. Although their best effort is to ascend above all of that, because Zahiri is very much into the art of Zen and the idea of self-improvement through actions. They are ascetic. Their motivations are asceticism, protecting the interests of brinkers. I'm guessing those are the folks on the edge.
Yeah. I'll give a little bit of an explanation on brinkers in a moment, because it's probably worth mentioning, and I will dig out the description from the second edition rulebook. But carry on while I look that up.
Yeah. And also a motivation to protect transhumanity, because my main interests are I function as both soldier and paramedic. I am your battlefield healer, pretty much like the druid I played in my last D&D campaign. But yes, I am a security specialist here to provide protection for Kai and the mission, and hopefully find out more about myself, or at least proceed along the path to enlightenment.
Okay, so Brinkers. It takes guts and willpower to choose self-imposed exile on a tiny hab dozens of AU from the sun. We've come to call these people Brinkers, and isolates, those who live life on the literal fringes of transhumanity. Brinker habs come in all flavours: individual hermits, single families, extended group units, social experiments, societies based on gender or lack thereof, political extremists, religious groups, cults, pleasure houses, and always-on gaming. You can find Brinker groups anywhere, among the different Trojan asteroid groupings, on the tiny moons of gas giants, around Saturn's rings, and even out in Mars's dunes and Venus's clouds. You can find them floating in the sun's corona, in the far extremes of the Kuiper Belt and Oort clouds, riding comets, or hidden away on frontier exoplanets. So yeah, Brinkers are very much the outriders. They're out on the brink.
Would you say they're similar to, like, because the way you describe them makes them sound a bit like the Sensates from Planescape?
They can be, yeah.
Okay.
There are probably as many reasons to be out on the brink as there are Brinkers,
Right.
to be honest.
Cool.
Streamer's Frozen for me. I don't know if it has for anyone else.
Sorry, what was that?
Streamer's Frozen.
Oh,
Ah.
I paused it, so...
It looks
Hang
okay
on.
at my end.
Hang on, just refreshing.
Can I check
Yeah,
with
and we're back in the room.
chat
Yeah.
whether we're okay? We are okay, good. So, Alia, your turn.
Hello. I'll start with myself because why not? My name is Lex, technically, but I'm also known as the Busky, or to certain people, Alia. You'll mostly hear me called Alia, though, here. I am playing Nyaul, who is as Fishy said, a completely non-physical entity. Currently, I appear as a bird, a crow, to be specific. And my motivations at the moment. Oh, and I'm covered in sort of Nordic and Celtic design. My motivations are adventure, open source, and Titanian interests, because I am a Titanian hacker.
Indeed. And an uplift.
Yes.
A genuine, honest-to-God bird.
Yep.
Tweet.
Right, let's just swap to the picture of Kai for good measure. And we've given a little bit of a hint as to who Kai might be in that intro. But Drat, would you like to give us a proper introduction to Kai?
Well, I'd like to give you a proper introduction to Kai. Kai would like to know how Kai is understanding anyone, because Kai doesn't speak English. I would just like to point this out.
That is a good point, yeah. Well, clearly Kai has translation things running.
I guess I was going to say, are we on?
That, but you're right.
Are we on Handwavium?
We are definitely on the Handwavium at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, so for starters, I mentioned at the beginning that everybody is always online in this game. The internet has been replaced by something called the mesh. And the way the mesh works is there's no things like DNS servers or anything like that. Everything is handled on a peer-to-peer basis and connects every item to every other item. So there's no way for it to go down so long as there are still machines running in the area, because there's no central points that can be taken out or blocked off in any way. And everybody now is permanently online. In addition to this, for good measure, everybody has what is called a muse. And that muse is a limited artificial intelligence which is with you for your entire life, and it does all the stuff that your smart speaker, for example, might do for you, only more so because it's genuinely intelligent. And it lives in your head. So you always have this voice in your head for your entire life. And worst case scenario, your muse is probably running a translation for you. And essentially you have got a translator in your head.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yep, the only escape is to be a total hermit, which is where brinkers come in some cases.
Yep.
Some of them, that's what they're doing. They just want to get away from this, all of this.
I choose to believe that Kai's muse has a strong sense of sarcasm and is replacing the audio that they get from other people with a translated Japanese line, which does mean that everybody is on lip synced to Kai.
Yes, everybody looks like a martial arts movie.
Exactly, everybody looks like they're dubbed. Kai is wearing a outfit that's largely made of zips, but can look like almost anything, because Kai is wearing smart clothes.
Yes.
The self-morph is essentially human, but very pretty. A certain amount of stylization going on. And they themselves are a psychologist. But they're an extremely posh and a wealthy psychologist, because they could afford to fund their own studies. Also, they're absolutely obsessed with being as many people as humanly possible. Well, as upliftedly, no, as informationally possible. Being human, I think, is a little bit of yes. I believe that, as far as I can tell, Guy is basically obsessed with the idea of being in as many morphs as simultaneously they can be. Which does unfortunately produce many forks of personality, and you have to have a very strong psychology in order to be able to deal with that should they reintegrate, because you end up with multiple versions of reality sitting in your head at any given time. However, having grown up listening to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, frankly, I think I can cope. They just remember everything differently depending on which week it is. Pardon me, I'm not putting on a voice. This is as good as this gets now.
Yeah, there are almost certainly other forks of Kai elsewhere doing other things in addition to this one.
Yeah, I am hoping that they're living their best life, because this one's quite confused. However, it's not going to reveal that they're confused, partly because that would be classless, and partly because there's no point in being a psychologist if you can't also be a hypocrite and decide that everybody else needs stability monitoring, but you're probably okay. Sorry. Yeah. Basically, Guy's pretty. Pretty, friendly, and slightly posh is the overall impression initially, and does indeed dress like cosplay night on the Blade Runner set.
Okay.
And is interested, but a little bit worried about this.
Yes.
This whole gap, and not entirely comfortable with the time jump.
So, as you take a seat around the table, Eleudir begins talking again. For those of you who have not had this briefing already, this, not the previous briefing, is an emergency investigation. 10 days ago, Kai disappeared while delivering a payoff to a contact, a Triad boss, Mariposa Chen. She was instrumental on Operation Earwig. Mariposa knows of Firewall, but is not a trusted asset. She currently resides on a mid-sized asteroid called Kongyun. We know Kai arrived at the station, then disappeared. Mariposa reports they never made contact. Kai is, of course, back here with us, re-sleeved from the backup they left before departing. Kongyun used to be a Fajing mine. It's mostly abandoned, except for a Fajing outpost called Lion at one end, and scavengers and miners pulling off old Fajing equipment at the other. The Lion project doesn't seem dangerous to Firewall, but it's well protected, so probably best to give it space. It's possible Mariposa knows something she isn't revealing, so you might want to start there. Whatever the cause, we need to determine what happened to our Sentinel, while continuing to protect Firewall operations and secrecy. Firewall has no other assets or stakes in the habitat, so you are authorized to act as you see fit. I've arranged transit on board a fast supply shuttle, the Red Coronet, leaving in 2 hours. At Kongyun, you'll be at the Good Rest Motel. Sorry, all the 5-star rooms were booked. You'll notice on your maps we've marked a hidden scratch space of gear you can access in an emergency. Kongyun has tight security checks, so no weapons, fabbers, or combat morphs will be permitted past immigration. I'm afraid that we will need to remove your railgun before you get on board the Coronet. Pack appropriately. It also means we will not be smuggling in a new payment to Mariposa. If she never got it, we'll arrange something in a month. Don't let her distract you from your mission. Is there anything that any of you would like to know before we effectively skip on to you arriving at Kongyun?
Given that Kai vanished, what are the odds, and this is possibly their knowledge rather than mine, what are the odds of that fork still being extant? Was there any kind of time limit powers on the power source on the morph? And if this is known unattended.
As I recall, a sylph, I think, is a biological morph. They're artificial, but I think they are actually biological.
It's labelled as biomorph.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah.
So essentially, provided that it has food and water and air, and nothing has actively killed it, then that fork could still be alive. However, if it is, something is keeping it from getting in touch.
Okay, so if we find me anywhere, don't shoot me or me, because I might be able to talk to me, and me can tell me what we've been up to.
Ellie, dear.
And I am not going to try and diagram that sentence.
Acknowledge.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Ellie, dear. You say the payment for Mariposa Chen would likely have been taken along with the previous fork of Kai. Is there anything in that payment or briefcase which may prove that we need to be aware of, that may prove explosive or dangerous in any way?
If misused, it could perhaps be a menace. It's not innately dangerous. Let me double check whether he is willing to tell you what it is.
Kai is going to look very interestedly at him. I'm not. I assume I didn't ask.
It didn't seem important.
I would have assumed you asked but weren't told, but...
No, not necessarily.
No, fair.
Yes, I assume I didn't ask, and now Kai is going to be watching Elliot very carefully and attempting to read their response.
Yeah, okay, right.
I'm
Yeah,
going to make you
looking
make
very
a skill
actively
check.
between them.
I should, I feel, have opened up a copy of the character sheet, because I always find a character sheet very useful, especially when it lists the skills in the game. Now, I know what skill I'm looking for. I just need to work out what they call it in this system, essentially.
I'm hoping no psychology might be it, or perceive.
I'm thinking probably perceive. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because no psychology I'm any good at. Right, okay, good to know. Right.
Oh, there it is. Slipped past self 4 times trying to find the description of a self morph. It is indeed a biomorph, yeah. Self gene sequences are tailored for distinctive good looks, ethereal and elfin features, and slim and lithe bodies. Their metabolism has also been sanitized to eliminate unpleasant bodily odors, and their pheromones adjusted for universal appeal.
Ah, boy band.
Yeah, especially yours, because they come in whatever gender you you desire them in, essentially, and yours, of course, is intersex.
I think, to be honest, I'm looking at it and I think Kai has just gone, Bishanen's a thing.
Yes, yeah, you are definitely wearing a Bishonen morph at this point. Okay, I don't really see any reason that he can't admit what it is, but not give you details, if you see what I mean. So it is... Just double checking this because I read it earlier and I know what it is, but I want to be sure that I don't get it wrong. And I can't remember where I found it. It's not in the section on Mariposa Chen, just for good measure.
Well done, Linda.
It is a nanoswarm, anyway. So, properly programmed, it could be dangerous, but it's not innately dangerous.
Acknowledged.
Excellent. I could program a nanoswarm, couldn't I?
You could probably program a nanoswarm, yeah.
Might be interesting to be a nanoswarm for a while, if I haven't done that before, but I'm not sure if I have.
Given that I have to be disarmed prior to boarding the shuttle, I presume the emergency cache will have an appropriate replacement.
Bubblegum.
It's not up to what you have at the moment, but there is a weapon in the cache, in the scratch cache, yes.
Acknowledged. Please keep the railgun safe.
Let's do a let's dip into the rules of or the mechanics of Eclipse Phase for a moment. So, Drat, you wanted to make a roll using perceive or no psychology. What I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to make it a perceive roll. And if your roll is kind of borderline, I'll let you roll no psychology to interpret what you're perceiving. So this is a percentile roll. No, it is a percentile roll less than the value. So with your perceive of 40, you need to roll 39 or less. It is important to note, however, that this is one of only 2 games that I can think of off the top of my head where 00 is 0, not 100. There is also an interesting mechanic on superior successes.
Okay.
The way that works, if you succeed and roll over 33, you get a superior success. If you roll over 66 and succeed, you get effectively a double superior success. Now, in your case, obviously, you can't roll over 66 and succeed because you have got a perceive of 40. But if you roll 34 to 39, that counts as a superior success. Similarly, if you succeed and roll a double, that is a critical success. And if you fail and roll a double, that is a critical failure.
Holy day. I'm just marking up my one of my D10s because I've decided inexplicably to use my double dice, but they're all identical.
Oh, right.
So I'm just marking up which one's the hundreds. Sorry, tens and units. Oh, sorry. Okay. Frankly, I could just use one and use the internal. Okay, fish. That is a 17.
Okay, so that is going to be a success. I'm going to use that just as a straight success roll for today.
Okay.
If he were trying to fool you, that would be an opposed roll against presumably his deceive. In which case, I would make a roll for him, and if you both succeed, then the player who rolls highest wins. It's a fairly common method for opposed rolls in a lot of systems, that you compare the actual result on a success roll, and the higher one wins. Essentially, what it works out as is the higher your skill, the better you've got your chance of outperforming somebody else. It works quite nicely on that basis. There is also, you also have you have 4 pools up at the top of your character sheet. Insight, Moxie, Vigor, and Flex. And you could have used, if you needed to, a point of Insight to adjust that result. And what you could do is you could spend it to flip the dice. So if you'd rolled 71 instead of 17, for example, you could spend a point of Insight to flip those to a 17.
That's neat.
There are a number of other things you can do with these pools, and the pools are slightly limited. So the way they work, Insight is for cognition and intuition rolls. So Perceive is an intuition roll and uses Insight. On your character sheet, you'll see there's a little... I'm not sure quite what it is, possibly a sun. Looks a bit like a memory chip icon next to that skill. Next to a lot of Kai's skills, in fact. And you can also look, if you look at the pools, you can see that there is a watermark of that same symbol in your Insight pool.
I think that's supposed to be a neuron.
It could be.
I think that's supposed to be a neuron. I could be wrong.
So Insight is for cognition and intuition skills. Moxie is for savvy, will, and rep skills, or rep rolls. Vigor is for reflex and somatics. And Flex can be used basically for anything. So Flex is the most versatile of the pools.
Good grief. I am not going to be doing anything except Insight modifications. Because
just to clarify, you do not have 12 points in your Insight pool.
No, I'm assuming I have 1 or 2.
You have 1 which is boosted to 2. I think that is the boost. That boost is from your wear. I'm sure one of these will have something indicating that that's where that comes from.
It's the I think it may be the cyber. No, hang on. Oh, there we go. Multitasking.
It's
I'm assuming.
Could well
That's +1 Insight. Yeah. I can do 2 things at once.
Yes. When we played first edition, I had that, which was extremely useful on occasion.
Yeah, at the moment, Kai's also playing patient.
The GM didn't really know how it worked.
Yeah. Yes, Kai is currently paying patience and paying attention to this.
Yeah, entirely possible. Okay.
Can you run Doom on it?
You can run almost anything on it, to be honest. Yeah, the amount of processing power people have access to in this game is quite phenomenal, as might be expected from a game in which human consciousness can be downloaded and stored on a memory chip.
I had forgotten the muses, though. I really had forgotten the muses.
Yeah, so we probably won't be doing a lot with the muses in this.
Makes sense.
In this, just because of time. But they are quite important. They do things like, for example, if somebody is trying to hack your brain, which is entirely possible, especially for Chrono, who has a mechanical form, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Though anyone with a cyber brain can be hacked, so that does mean that also Kai.
Yep.
If you're
Yeah,
not
I've got
actively
I've got-
opposing that hacking, then your muse does.
Yeah, I've got -30 to mind hacking attacks, according to this.
Yeah, so do I. That's going to be interesting. Synthetic brain runs infomorph mind state. Which sounds like a shoot 'em up.
It does, doesn't it? Okay, the main settlement remaining on Kongyun is called New City, and it is at New City
Wow.
that, yes, I know, very imaginative. It is at New City that the Red Coronet docks. Since none of you, I haven't really given you the option to, but since none of you are attempting to smuggle any items in, we can pretty much skip through.
Oh, well, actually, there was one thing I was going to
Yeah.
ask before we left.
Okay.
So, obviously, my railgun is... we can't take my rail assault rifle.
Yeah.
The weapons mount itself is concealable, so presumably that is within the body. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could, in theory, try to just conceal the weapon mount and smuggle the gun in and refit it when you get there. But quite how you'd go about smuggling it.
Yeah, I wasn't
is
going
another
to suggest smuggling that thing, but apparently I also have a medium pistol. Is that smugglable within, say, if it's concealed within the body, for example, or is there likely to be scans that would reveal it?
You
Can it be
might
dismantled into component
be able to
parts?
get. You might
Yeah.
be able to get away with it. You can try an infiltrate roll to try and smuggle it in. Let me just see if we have any specific information about the medium pistol. Just medium pistol. Okay, so it would be quite a difficult thing to do, but you can try it. Since your character would have a pretty good idea of how easy this is, they've done this sort of stuff before. I will tell you now, it would be an infiltrate test, but it would be at -30.
-30, yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you had an item with the concealable trait,
Right.
then
Okay, yeah,
you
that
could-
was kind of
you
the
could
other.
get that through without a modification. So in theory, you've got 2 hours before setting out. We could have a quick look and see whether there is a gun with the concealable trait that you could roll against without taking the -30 penalty, just so that you've got something to smuggle in.
Yeah. Because at a -30, my infiltrate is 10.
Which is pretty bad, all things considered. So,
And whilst I could, and thankfully, I mean, it runs off my vigor pool. Whilst I could say add 20 to that, I'm still not happy rolling against 30. Yeah.
yeah, it's not a great result, is it?
At least you have infiltrate.
Looking for where they've hidden the weapons.
I have all the knowledge skills in the universe.
I will say
I have a lot of knowledge skills, but I don't have a lot of insight to re-roll them if I need to. Although actually, like knowledge habitat 65, knowledge religion 65, knowledge security 75, medicine 65. So I'm not bad.
Let's see whether they give us weapons in. Yes, they give us weapons
I
in
need to check
the
skill
combat
descriptions.
section. I should have thought about that. So a holdout pistol is concealable. That's the only thing really that would be concealable. But you could try and you could effectively requisition a holdout pistol, or quickly have one fabbed and try and smuggle it in.
No, that's fine. Like, I mean, what would be what's the What's the DV on that?
That is 1d10 plus a d6 for a hold-down pistol.
Okay.
It's still
1d10
not
plus
bad
6.
damage. It's not much
That's
less than the 2d10 for a medium.
yeah.
Yeah, it mainly has slightly worse range and lower ammunition. Also, almost everything in this game is capable of automatic fire. The holdout pistol can only do burst fire instead of full automatic. That's pathetic.
Sure, I'll take a roll on that then, because
Okay.
I was going to assume I was assuming it was going to be 1d10 or less for.
To let you know, by the way, the red coronet has also been booked for the return trip. It will be leaving the station in 4 days' time. So
Okay.
you can safely leave anything that you can't take on board the station on board the red coronet, assuming that you make it back for the return trip.
Yeah.
And if
All
not,
right.
you're not going to care.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get that pistol through on a 40. Yeah. Come on, dice. You said zero. Zeros are
counts
zero,
as-
aren't they?
Yeah, zeros are zeros.
In which case, that is 1.
Oh,
Wow.
I rolled a 1.
that is a success.
That's almost a perfect success.
Yeah, and at least in the perfect success is 1 under your skill rating because that's the best you can possibly get.
Yeah. So
It's not
it's
an opposed
close to,
roll,
and
so
yeah.
you have essentially this holdout pistol is small enough that you can in fact conceal it within the concealable weapon mount. You can just pop that away, and on the way in, the examination did not find it. Just because you have this type of morph doesn't mean it's exactly the same as all the others. There are various different models that fall within that category, and they obviously just didn't realise that this one has a weapon mount. So, New City is neither new nor much of a city. It's decrepit and spotty, and for those watching at home, I'm now going to swap to my station sound effects rather than my re-sleeve chamber sound effects, which I probably should have switched off ages ago, but hey, there you go, such is life. The population is about a quarter of what it was when the station was an active mining zone. So the streets, I say streets, look pretty empty, and the place is very badly maintained now. The majority of the residences are battered and need cleaning. The majority of the residents that you see walking around are sleeved in dented and silica-flecked synthmorphs. The lighting here is very low. Clearly, power is a premium. Also, we are talking microgravity here because you are on a planetoid. The maps that you have been provided of this place showed you a few things. Firstly, it showed you the location of New City at one end of the asteroid and of the Lion facility, whatever that is about, at the other end. It also showed you that there were a number of tunnels, a network of them stretching throughout the asteroid. Some of these are old mining tunnels, others are literally just transport tunnels, and if you can trust the map that you have, you can probably find your way around the place relatively quickly through those tunnels. There's no guarantee, however, that any given tunnel will have, for example, lighting. As you come out of the port, you are approached by... Do we get a description here? No, maybe if I check for their stats. Okay, yeah, you are approached by a security pod morph. So this is essentially a biomorph. It is a pod person, vat grown, fairly cheap morph.
Sorry.
Designed for security purposes, and wearing what is obviously a local uniform. They put up a hand to stop you as you're coming out of the port, and politely and in a friendly but firm manner begin to question you as to what you are about here. Their introduction and badge identify them as Constable Eli Yu of Faixing Security. Are you going to be honest with this security person? Are you going to beat around the bush a little bit? Are you going to find a good excuse for why you're here? What are you going to do?
I am inclined to be relatively honest, certainly sincere, and explain that a business meeting is the reason for our visit. And it's an interesting place, which I am certain I have never been before.
A meeting with who, and on behalf of who?
Firewall is I'm trying to remember, is Firewall official or banned?
Firewall is neither.
Secret.
It is semi-secret. A lot of people have never heard of Firewall, and Firewall does not really advertise what they're doing, particularly. But they're not technically secret. You can, if you like, make me a roll to see if you know what Firewall's relationship with Faixing, the corporation that controls this place, is like. And I think
actually,
that
would did Kai have a cover story previously?
How would I know?
There was not a cover story in your briefing. No, you were just...
I certainly...
Okay.
Also, I did not leave me a memo. Which would have been polite, however. No, Kai is going to draw upon their history. And thank you, Captain Red Fox. I think his username is awesome as well.
Hello, Captain Red Fox.
Yes.
Yes, that is our
Kai.
host.
Yeah, Kai is going to draw upon his history and is going to represent themselves as being from a university, because they studied neuropsychology to quite a high degree, and they are here to meet with a colleague. And you will understand, not wishing to be overly dramatic, but they are someone we wish to impress. Implying that it's somebody who is on their colony who is impressive to us.
Are you, when doing this, going to drop the name Rokuzawa?
Am I going to drop the name Rokuzawa? Yes, I am going. Only, however, apparently after a certain amount of reluctant toing and froing. Which is completely wrong. Obviously, they are absolutely going to drop the name. But one doesn't wish to push oneself forward.
Okay, I'm going to call this Persuade. rather than
I'm going
deceive,
to call
because
this a joke.
you're being basically honest. You're just being
Yep.
honest in the right way.
I'm,
So this
I'm
is
being
going to
honest
be
at
an
the
opposed
left.
roll,
Okay.
and this is going to be your persuade
Okay.
against his perceive, I suppose.
Right, so I've got a... Have I got a 70 or an 80 persuade?
You
Let me
have
just
got
check
an
what gives me the bonus.
80. The bonus will
I've got the
almost
enhanced
certainly
pheromones.
come from, yeah, that's basically from
Oh,
your,
no!
your sleeve. Is that possibly it?
Will it count? Because it's against biomorphs of the same species. Do they count? Does this person count as human-ish?
Interesting. Oops. let's
Or
move on
human
one
adjacent
page too many.
sufficiently?
Enhanced pheromones plus 10 persuade and provoke with biomorphs of the same species. What do we class as a species here? It makes no sense that... Now, without looking it up, I am going to assume that is basically human biomorphs. I don't think it will work with infolife or uplifts.
That was where I was thinking, but I was assuming that if they had standard loadout of human senses, then it would logically apply.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't point out at the beginning of this, but I've got the Discord overlay on my screen. So if you look for the little green light, to people viewing this at home, if you look for the little green circle popping up around the icons on the left-hand side there, it will show you who is speaking at any given time. I should have mentioned that at the start, and I didn't.
Yes, quite unfortunately, it is kind of obscured, but that's just life.
Yeah.
That is me to a
its
T.
name is obscured because the he/him goes through onto another line. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is going to apply in this case. You will have the full 80 points because although he is wearing a pod, Constable Yu is indeed a human, essentially, wearing a pod body.
Okay, so that is 44. Funnily enough, I'm not going to blow anything to flip.
Okay, 44 though is a double, which makes that a critical.
Oh, okay, that's a good point.
So that means that in order for you to lose this, I have got to roll not only higher than 44, but also a double higher than 44, and yet less than his 50 perceive. Can you see where the problem is coming in there?
Roll that.
As it happens, I actually rolled 80 anyway, so he completely failed his perceive roll.
That's a relief.
So, under the circumstances, he will at this point become very polite. I mean, he was polite anyway, but now he's very polite.
I'm used to this.
There is, however, another check that I need to make. Because he has seen Kai, rather. I keep wanting to pronounce that as Chi, but it's not. It's Kai as in Chiron rather than Chi as in Qigong.
Yeah.
And although you're wearing a new morph, it's the same model you were wearing before, and you move the same way. So there is a skill called kinesics, which is basically the reading of body
What's that
language.
for?
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that one's for? Right, okay.
Now,
Now there's a really bad
I
at
meant to
it.
look it up.
do you wish to conceal the fact
70,
that you
thanks.
are the same person as the Kai who came through here before? Because if so, this can be an opposed roll. If not, it's just a
Is this going
straight
to be a
roll to see
kinesics?
whether he... No, it's going to be deceive.
Oh, yeah, I'll give it a deceive a go. It's the same as my kinesics. Yeah, Kai is going to pretend to be far too egotistical intellectually to ever be related to anyone who's already been here. Why would they come again if they've already been?
Okay. So
Having said that, they've never been here before.
give me a deceive roll then, please.
Okie day. Oh God, sorry. Um, 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 that is a 14.
Okay, that unfortunately is not going to be enough as it stands. He has succeeded and rolled higher than you.
Oops.
Do you want to flip that to a 41? Is your deceive is high enough for that to still work, isn't it?
My deceive is indeed my deceive is 70. So yeah, that's not a problem.
Deceive is pretty awesome. So
That's
you could
burning a
spend
point
a
of
moxie
moxie.
point,
Yeah,
which is also
I am
your
doing.
biggest pull. So
Yep. I am going to. I'm going to front it. I am going to spend a point of moxie, flip that, and smooth straight over whatever it
okay,
is they
yeah.
think they got wrong about me. However,
So
if they knew,
yeah, there is a
worried.
brief moment where he goes through that "have we met before" somewhere thing, but you're
I'm sorry,
convincing, and he
I'm
brushes
not
it,
that well
and
lined.
you're convincing and brush it aside, and he just shrugs it off. You have made a good impression on Constable Yu, who is now being very helpful. You know, he's asking who it is that you want to see, whether he can help putting you in touch with this person, whether there's anything you need.
Right. Blair, remind me, Fish, where did we meet before? Where were we supposed to meet before, according to the briefing?
Okay, so Mariposa operates out of New City's primary medical clinic, a repurposed two-story office complex. This information you will have from your briefing. The Triad has set the clinic up
Right.
as a speakeasy for black market goods, body modifications, and psychosurgery. So that is where you'll be wanting to meet Mariposa.
Right. Do I have a internal map, and can I get one? And if not, can I send my muse?
You were provided a map by Eliadir at the start. You can, if you wish, do some mesh research to find a better map, but the location of the medical clinic is shown on the map that you already have. It's not a very detailed
What I
map, but it's got
want-
key points like
No.
that.
What I would like is whatever is a couple of is a block basically away, a couple of doors away from the medical clinic.
Okay, so public artificial reality maps of the asteroid are freely available. That's not a problem.
Worst case, I'm going to send my muse off, and I'm on the verge of naming my muse Beep, and I don't know why.
Well, according to your character sheet, your muse is called Yesterday, but
Well, you know.
but if you want to change its name, it's your character. So you know.
I don't know
do what you
why,
like
but
with it,
yes,
basically.
Beep just seems to work better at the moment.
Okay.
And of course, yesterday all my troubles seem so far away. So unfortunately, there is also a fork of yesterday inside
I think
the shell. If there's still somebody, if I'm still wandering around with it.
I think I'm going to say that your muse is called Yesterday, but you call it Beep, which irritates your muse. But it still does as it's told
Yes.
because it's your muse.
Yep.
Mine
I am
includes
running
sarcastic in the name.
But it does it sarcastically, yeah.
Yes, I am running a long-term psychological study to see how far I can push yesterday before they decide to up and try and leave me.
Oh, that absolutely works. That absolutely works.
What's the point? Does the muse get forked? I'm not
If
being
you
rude.
fork, yeah, if when you back up or fork, your muse is a part of that backup. So in the same way that you don't remember what happened in the last 10 days, nor does Yesterday/Beep.
Right. I'm going while having the conversation then with this gentleman. I am going to have Beep bring me a decent map of the planetoid, and give me a viable property which is close enough to the clinic that I could legitimately ask for directions, having definitely never been here before and never been recognised, and isn't directly where we're going, to the dodgy black market place, which the constable would know is dodgy and black market.
I think that your muse basically has skills, relevant skills at 30, but I will double check that if I can figure out where your muse's stats are hidden.
I also have a job for Beep when that's done.
Yeah. Bear in mind that you can actually do two things at the same time as well as have Beep
I
do a
can,
third
yes.
thing. So you could do
I know.
one of the jobs yourself. Or, of course,
Yeah,
you
no,
may
the
consider
job-
it beneath you and not do it yourself.
Yeah. No, the job I have is that, I mean, I could be doing this all the time myself, but I would like to be listening to the mesh to see if I can hear Beep. Over yesterday,
Ah.
while on the planetoid. Essentially pinging for Beep, or beeping for ping.
Beeping for ping. Yeah, okay, that's a thing.
Beeping for yesterday.
So that's going to be a research test. Why is this now stopped?
I don't know.
Right. This reminded me to point out something very cool about the Eclipse Phase PDF rulebooks. Massive amounts of hyperlinking. There is more hyperlinking in Eclipse Phase books than in anything else I have ever seen. Even stuff like, say, Cyberpunk Red, which has really good hyperlinking,
Really?
is a bit pathetic compared to
Good Lord.
Eclipse Phase. Every single page reference in Eclipse Phase is a hyperlink. So anytime it tells you that something is on page whatever, there is a link to take you straight to that page. The entirety of the table of contents, which runs over 4 pages, 6 pages, is hyperlinked. Absolutely everything is hyperlinked. But for some reason, Acrobat has decided it doesn't want to work those hyperlinks. So a moment ago, it was doing them fine. Now I've got to type numbers in, which is very frustrating.
Oh,
Muses.
I'm just a little bit concerned that apparently my standard reaction to things is, here's a system. What can I do to break it?
Gee, someone might think that you're a game designer.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh,
the page on
socialities. Or
Muses
possibly
does not-
socialites.
The page on Muses doesn't. The write-up on Muses does not include their stats. That's rather frustrating.
Oopsie. I haven't got
Okay,
a
so
gun.
I know some things are rated at 30, so I'm going to assume that everything is rated at 30, just for good measure.
Okay.
It's going to be easier for now, until I find otherwise. So, if you'd like to make a roll against your Muse's now 30, no matter what it was a moment ago, research skill.
Okay. That is an 18.
Okay, an 18. So, I am going to say you were looking specifically that you were sending Beep to look for Beep, weren't you? So,
Yes,
What
Beep
I'm-
can look for Beep.
what I'm going to say is that Beep does not directly find Beep, but indirectly Beep finds Beep, because Beep finds a number of online posts made by one Change Jade, who is seemingly a, air quotes, journalist, a blogger on the station, who made a number of posts logging the movement of this mysterious visitor to the asteroid. Said visitor being Kai's previous morph.
Yeah. I got blogged about. My previous I got blogged about. I'm hoping previous eye. It might not be previous eye. It could be current eye. Right. Okay, well, I shall read those
So
in
you
a
have
moment as we move away.
you have a location to go to for Mariposa Chen. You now also have, courtesy of that search, you will know where to go to get in touch with Chango Jade, even the local journalist that you have just discovered. Is there anything else that you feel you need to look for in the way of leads? And is there anything that the others wish
Anything,
to
chaps?
be doing? I mean, certainly,
Yes.
for example, Njal is in a perfect position to be doing mesh searches because they live there.
Yes, I have a feeling Niall was distracted by something while the conversation was happening. It's like, huh? What? You want me to do something?
I should point out as well, there's been no mention of communications devices in here, but that's because everybody is constantly online. So essentially, provided that you have access to the mesh, you also have communications with one another, whether that be by sending text messages, actually opening up subvocal voice communications, whatever. You have no problems at all with talking to one another over the mesh.
Yeah, Niall was not paying attention whatsoever and is now going, huh? What are we doing? Where are we going?
I mean, Zahiri is not a communication, is not a face. So they were leaving it all the conversation entirely up to Kai. But Zahiri will be kind of like scanning the, as a security specialist, will be just scanning the area for threat assessment.
Yeah, okay. It is a quiet, rundown town. The closest thing you've seen to a threat yet is indeed Constable Yu, and he's not being threatening in the slightest. He is just looking out for Fajing's interests, making sure that nobody too dodgy is coming in on this.
Actually, the other thing that Zahiri will do while the conversation is going on, and now that we have landed, is double checking the map that we were provided by Elidir against the local mesh information to get a better understanding of the medical clinic where we are going, and assess threat points, exits, that sort of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Basically building up now that we are connected or have access to the local mesh, it's building up a threat assessment and a security profile.
Yeah, okay, that absolutely makes sense. You can make me the maps. There's no role needed to look up the maps because they are open.
No.
You can look for more detailed maps if you wish to make a research test. Alternatively, you could also make a research test if you wanted to check the cameras. There are effectively CCTV cameras all over the place. You could try to access those cameras and see whether the maps match those, or possibly even look at archives to run back and see whether you can find any traces of Kai's previous sleeve on those.
Yeah, actually that's a good idea. Yes, I will connect to the camera network. Or attempt to connect to the camera network.
Okay, so that's going to be a research test to do that.
Is the skill called research?
The skill is, I believe, called research. Yeah.
Okay, well I don't have that.
Neither do I, actually.
But
Am I the only one who has actual research as a skill?
if you don't have it,
right, I have
then you
no
can
conflict.
Ask
I've
Niall
got no
to do
conflict zones.
or you can get your muse to do it. Your muse will have a 30 research, so you can ask your muse to do that.
at that point, I will ask Niall to do that.
Yes. Huh? What am I doing?
Okay, so you come out of being
yeah,
zoned
so
out to find that you're being asked questions by people.
Yes.
Yes.
This is subvocal or electronic communication from
I'm very
Zahiri.
sure we can just talk in binary
Yeah.
of like, hey,
Yeah.
Yeah, worst case.
device to device.
For you to connect to the camera network and check the verify the maps we've got on, or to see if the cameras have spotted Kai's previous previous body.
Kai, were you look? Did you look the same? I forgot to listen. What's your face the same?
So your previous morph, Kai, would have been another self morph, very similar to the
Yes,
one that you're wearing
yes.
now, but not identical.
Okay. I would. I take it that any customization would have had to happen ahead of my actually deploying in it.
Yeah, you would have
In
needed
which case,
to organise that in advance, essentially. You weren't expecting on a
right?
routine run to disappear, so you didn't have
No.
a backup morph ready. Firewall found you your preferred morph, which is a self morph, an intersex self morph, but they did not have one that you had already prepared to look exactly how you wanted it. So the bigger clue would
Okay.
be the way it was dressed, which would probably be very similar to how you're dressed now.
Yes, almost certainly very similar to how I am currently dressed. Only I think you'll find instead of wearing an undertunic, I think previous me, based on the fashions of 10 days ago, would have been wearing something a little bit shorter and possibly a little bit more tailored underneath the coat. But the coat would have been the same.
Okay. So now listen to that description very aptly, and you can tell because he is staring into your eyes. If he's not listening, he is not looking anywhere near your face. If he is listening, he is staring intently into your eyes.
Look in the eyes, look at the face, look at my eyes, look at.
Yes, and only with one eye, because again, crow. So
you're
very
Well,
much.
yeah, this is the point. Yeah, you kind of have to alternate, don't you?
Your visibility,
No,
of course,
he
is
just uses
purely
one
in
eye.
artificial reality, in augmented reality, because you
Oh
are
yeah.
an infomorph. So they can see you. You have no physical presence, but people can still see you through AR.
Yeah.
So the things that you have been asked to do essentially is going to be two research roles. One to compare the cameras to the maps to see if they match up, and the other to see whether you can find any sign of Kai. So if you'd like to do both, just let me know which way around you're doing them, and can we have the first research role, please?
Let's start with the map because that is the first request they got, and that is the first request they'll do.
Okay.
They basically ran that while they were getting Kai's description.
Yeah,
Ultimate
that
ADHD.
works. You have a trait called digital speed, if I remember rightly. I think it's called. Digital speed, which basically means anything done on the mesh takes 25% less time for you, simply because you're purely a digital existence. So everything is just that much quicker. It's your natural environment.
That was a 30.
Okay, and I believe you've got, is it 50 or so
50.
research? Okay,
It is
so
50.
that is a success. It's not good enough for a special success. You need to roll over 33 for that, but that is enough for you to find the maps mostly match. There's nothing on the maps that you've got that is wrong. However, you do spot through the cameras, you spot the entrances to a number of tunnels that are not marked on the maps.
I will ping them on our personal maps.
Yep, no problem.
Look,
You can
look,
absolutely
look,
do
I found
that.
things. I found things. I found things.
And
Alright.
second roll
Now.
to see whether you can identify Kai, please.
Finding Kai 0.0.
Well, if you wish to be technical, no, hang on.
That was a 40.
Okay, so that is a superior success because
Yay.
you rolled higher than 33 while still succeeding. So that means, let me look up the, I think I posted the list of things. So yeah, you can get from that, you can get the work being more exact, which will give you a bonus on any future related tests. You can get more detail than otherwise, in which case I will find some additional information to give you beyond what I already know I'm about to give you. Or you can just have it take even less time, which would knock it down to taking half the time it would normally do. But you're not in a rush at the moment, so I don't see much point in that. It's already pretty covert. It doesn't do any damage. So really, that's your options. Would you like a bonus on the next roll that you make related to this? Or would you like for me to give you an additional piece of information?
I would like the bonus info.
Okay, so the first thing that you find is, yes, you find Kai's route. You can clock him leaving the port, and indeed you do see him talking to Constable Yu. You also see him both entering and leaving the Goodrest Motel and Inn, which is where you have rooms booked. When he leaves, he is still carrying the steel case, which ostensibly contains Mariposa's payment.
Is it is it a lock case? Is it one that's locked to me?
Yes.
Or is it
It
loose?
would be.
Okay.
It would be locked,
Oh,
and
if we
Mariposa
find a
would have
hand,
been
that's
sent
probably
the
mine.
lock code for it, so that she could open it.
I was just wondering if it was we're talking handcuff job. And I'm going to stop looking at the stream.
No, probably not handcuffed to you. I think just
Leave.
a case. If nothing else,
Okay.
handcuffing it to you would draw attention to it, which Firewall would not want. The bonus piece of information I'm going to give you is that you spend just a very few seconds at your digital speeds scanning through the appropriate period of camera footage, and you see no sign of Kai arriving at the medical clinic, confirming that he never met Mariposa Chen. You see him, you can track him a certain distance away from the motel, and then you lose him. There's a blind spot and he never comes out the other side. So you've got a location where he was last seen that you can actually physically investigate, should you wish to. First, though, you should probably all check in to the Goodrest Motel and Inn, because you have yet to do that. You're still essentially idly, ambling away from the port at this point. You've done all this before you've even checked into your hotel. So,
well, we like to get ahead of the game.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to say we will take a brief break. Just go AFK for a few minutes. Let people, take a comfort break, refresh their drinks, whatever they need to do, and unless one of you specifically wants to do some role play to do with the motel, when we come back, we will go straight on to which of your leads you want to investigate first.
Okay.
Niall has basically rambled what Fish explained about in twice the amount of time, with a lot more rambling around on sentences before remembering, oh, this is my point. In case you haven't noticed, Niall has raging ADHD, fully unsupported. I would say medicated, but they are a non-physical being, but fully unsupported, and people just leave them to ramble, usually.
Has absolutely chosen to maintain those aspects. I think I did post the thing on neurodiversity from the rule book, where it's essentially a choice now because of psychosurgery and the ability to digitally edit as if you were editing a document or a program. People's egos. It is entirely possible to remove any neurodivergent traits But a lot of people choose not to.
He doesn't quite realize normal people don't think like this.
Yeah, that's just who he is.
doesn't
Why would he
really-
want it to be changed? It makes perfect sense.
He doesn't want to change, and he doesn't realize other people don't work like this. He just
That's
thinks they
okay.
have
I just
better
record
control
what
of
you're
them.
saying.
Yeah, he
I'm
just
just
thinks they
recording
have
what you're
better
saying,
better
and
control.
then I'll play it back with the edits.
Okay, so let's just go AFK for a few minutes, and when everybody is back, we will carry on from there. So,
Okay.
audience at home, I hope you're enjoying this. Don't go away. I'm not going to mute you or anything. Feel free to talk to chat while we're if you're hanging around.
I'm going to go get a drink.
I just have so many bottles of drink around me at the moment, and I've got ginger
Oh,
beer,
yeah.
and I'm trying desperately to save my throat.
I should
It's
grab myself some
suffering.
lunch. The things I generally don't have anything when I'm live, like ever. So,
No, I find because
But
I
I'm
talk so
talking.
much during my streams,
I'm talking a whole lot more than I
I'm-
usually do.
yeah, I drink all the time when I'm on stream. So yes, I am really enjoying this. I had forgotten how much fun the setting is, and how shot to hell it is. I've just got a nonsense coat, absolutely, and I am indeed talking to chat if they're there. Fake ego ID. Oh, hello. I have a fake ID. Why do I have a fake ID? I mean, aside from... Oh, dear. When you realise that you probably shouldn't have dropped the family name.
I found my last time is literally frozen, so that's yeah.
I'm just trying to... I may have to query one of the combat options, because I'm reasonably sure I know what Eelware does based on the damage, but I want to make sure it does what I think it does and how it does what I think it does. Because I have a feeling it's basically I am a living taser.
You may have noticed earlier that I cunningly arranged the beginning of this stream in such a way that I did not say Neil's name until I'd heard you say it.
It's cheating.
I noticed.
Yes, absolutely cheating, and I do not feel
I was expecting you to fully just acknowledge it, but like at the beginning of like, and now, Alia.
Hello,
I'm
Commodore
just...
Z. And hello to
Greetings,
anybody who
Commodore
I
Z.
didn't greet when they came in because I was running a game at the time. We'll be back to that very shortly. Quick, while we're on the break, quick note on the subject of not having video for the players. In part, this is because I am experimenting with formats for actual plays, having just brought actual plays back to the channel, or back to my channel. This is my second channel. I haven't done any on here before. Because this channel is dedicated in equal parts to mental health and tabletop role-playing games, and the way they interact with one another, what I want to do is keep any actual plays on here as accessible as possible. So I'm investigating with how it works having games where players aren't on camera. So for other actual plays, I will certainly use the more traditional players on camera option. However, I'm experimenting, hoping to get some feedback from people on what kind of formats work for if people want to get involved in an actual play but don't want to actually appear on stream. I haven't yet thought of a good way of getting around whether they don't want to appear at all on stream. I can use purely text-based interactions, I've run games, not with all the players using text, but I've run games where players couldn't speak for whatever reason because a microphone wasn't working or they'd lost their voice or what have you. And I can handle that. So I know that is an option for future games. Let's go back to the picture of me. Not that anybody really wants to look at a picture of me, but hello, we're back.
Have you taken
That may-
phenylalanine?
Yes, I did. I
That
took
may
one before
well-
the start of the stream.
Just
Text
checking.
only may well be how I do Travelers next couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Because I want to
not
be
a-
there, I want to listen, but I will probably be tired as hell
Yeah,
because I'm
not a
traveling.
problem. Not a problem.
Understandable.
I'm hoping
Accessibility
that you're going
is
to
a big
be.
thing because there's
I'm
And also-
hoping you're going to be okay to speak on Thursday, though.
Oh yeah, I'll be fine then. I'm not traveling then.
Cool.
And
Yeah,
I
just checking.
I specifically won't be going to the seminar because last week I didn't get home from the seminar until 8, so
Yikes.
not going to the seminar. It was for a good reason. I was having fun chatting with the postgrads. And
right. So
Casually toss that in.
yeah,
let's get back to the game. Then you have got, unless you've thought of something that I have not specifically mentioned to you, you have got 3 leads at the moment. You have got Mariposa Chen at the Primary Medical Centre, aka Triad Black Market.
And your contact.
You have got the location where Kai disappeared, because you've located the camera blind spot where they were seen going into the blind spot and they never came out. So that is a location to be investigated. And of course you have got the local journalist blogger type who was apparently tracking that information. I would now like, however, Kai specifically, I'd like you to make me a savvy roll. Now,
Before.
the way this
okay.
sorry, if
Okay, never
you
mind.
said before.
I was going to say, while the previous conversation was going on, I put in chat that Kai was back reading any posts by said blogger.
Yep, okay, you can multitask.
find
You
out
can be doing 2
sort
things
of-
at once, so that's
Yes,
absolutely fine.
I
yeah.
know. To find out what sort of person they are and what kind of approach they're taking, and if they have any
Okay.
angle, given Kai is a psychologist.
Right, so I will give you that information in just a moment, but first I think
Yep,
we will do this
that's cool.
savvy check. Now, the way attribute check
Right.
what the checks work in this will be very familiar to you, Drut, as an old school Call of Cthulhu player, 7th edition. Your attributes, your aptitudes are multiplied by 3 to be rolled as a skill. On your character sheets,
Right.
you will see that the multiplied value is actually given on the sheet.
Yeah.
So in your case, your savvy is 20 multiplied up to 60.
Yep. And now's a good time for my headset to drop out.
Absolutely perfect time, yeah.
Repeat everything after 60.
That was it. I said
Oh,
you've
okay.
got 20
Fair enough.
multiplies up to 60, and then I shut up to let you roll some dice. So you're good.
Okay, no worries. Right, so that is 38.
Okay, so that is a superior success.
Okay,
So once
that's cool.
again, you can get additional quality, which will give you a plus 10% bonus on your next related roll. Or you can get additional piece of information on top of what I was going to give you anyway. Or you can get more detail, I suppose, on the piece of information that I'm going to give you. The other options aren't really applicable.
I'm going to take a bonus on my next applicable,
Okay.
which is probably not what I'm supposed to do, but yeah, what the hell.
Well, it's one
I'm
of
still
those
trying
things,
to work
isn't
out
it?
if I'm
Am I
got a
going to have
taser.
a next applicable role? If so, I'll take the bonus. So, your savvy means that when Njal is telling you all about what I believe Njal is he has found, you notice an incongruity and checking, getting some biggest actual footage and imagery can be sort of shared just as easily as actual text or whatever else across the mesh. Checking, you realise that the blog posts that you have read do not match what the cameras are showing for Kai's movements.
Okay. Why was this blogger feeding misinformation about where Kai was going?
Why indeed?
On that
Also,
information,
greetings, Honeybee. Honeybee John.
on that information that Njal found, did they happen to notice if that blind spot happened to be anywhere near any of the tunnels that weren't on the map, but he found it anyway?
Unfortunately, the tunnels that you found were all ones that you spotted on cameras, so you've got no idea whether there's one in the blind spot without going there and checking.
Fish, can I please make use of my TACnet app to, as we're headed to the hotel, share the locations based on the cameras of my previous Morphs activities versus what the blogger was reporting for the same timestamps? Can I run that and share that with people?
Okay, hang on. Run that over for me again once, please.
Okay, I have the
sure
TechNap
I'm
app.
getting the right thing.
Yeah, okay, I have the TACnet app.
Net
Please
app,
don't make me say
yeah.
that 3 times
Yeah.
fast. Which allows me to share real-time tactical data.
Yeah.
Now, we have a map. I
Yeah.
would like to run basically as a simulation transmitted to the others that the mapping the journalists' records of my previous me's movements
Right, so
with
basically you
what
want
the
to put
cameras were
both
reporting.
sets of movements onto the TACnet,
Yeah.
so that you can get
Yeah.
a visual representation of both sets of movement and see where they
Yeah.
diverge and where they match
Were,
up,
yeah.
essentially.
Were they wildly adrift at all times? Were they partially adrift? And what was I do? Where was I going according to a camera when the journalist gave me the biggest divergence?
Okay, that makes perfect sense to me.
I'm glad it does to you.
Yeah, I think that is something that you're going to possibly need to get your muse to do for you.
I think Beep may have to help. Yes, I think Beep can run one of the movement tracks. I can run one of the other movement tracks, and then with my other brain I can send it.
That's probably going to come under, without looking it up, I have a feeling that's probably going to come under the interface skill.
Okay.
Because it's using the software.
Surprising, I don't have that.
And you do not have that. However, your muse yesterday
Muse does.
will
Yep.
at a skill level of 30. So feel free to make me a quick roll on that.
Okay. Yesterday Beep does sound like they're swearing. Mind you.
Yeah. Beep yesterday certainly sounds like swearing.
Yeah, Beep yesterday. Okay, that is a 35. Damn.
Yeah, that is going to be a...
And flipping it is not going to help.
No, flipping it is not going to help. Let me
So
check
it is a
these things you
slight
can do.
flaw.
Now, you could have given yourself a bonus before the roll, if I remember rightly.
Could I?
By using a pool. You can...
could I?
Yeah, so before the roll, you can ignore all modifiers to the test. There weren't any. Or you can add plus 20 to the test's target number. After the roll, you can flip-flop the D100 roll, which doesn't help you in this instance.
No.
Or you can upgrade a success to a superior success. You didn't get a success.
Right.
Because we don't know the system as yet, I'm willing to allow you to add the plus 20 after the fact on the basis you didn't know you could have done it.
Does that come off insight? Or does that come off flex?
That would be... Hang on, let me check the skill. So interface is a cognition skill, so that would be insight, yes. Flex can be used for anything, so you can always use your flex point for it.
Okay.
Flex also does all of them also do other things, including stuff like changing the environment, establishing a relationship with an NPC, things like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether the game is meant to run that way, but I would always maintain the right of GM veto on things like changing the environment or establishing a relationship with an NPC. As far as I am concerned, there are times when spending that pull point could significantly alter the way that the scenario plays out. So I would not want to allow that in some circumstances. I think if I was to ban such a use, I'd probably give you some kind of compensation, like maybe restoring a point to one of your other pools or something like that. But that's just off the top of my head. That's not in the rule book that I'm aware of. That's just something that I would likely house rule in.
Okay, that's fair. That's perfectly reasonable. In which case, I would like to spend a point of insight, please, for the +20, which would give me the success.
Okay, so yeah, that then makes that a success, and indeed a superior success, because you rolled over 33, as I recall.
Yes, I did. I got 35.
Yeah, so that makes that a superior success, which means, again, you can either get an additional bonus, a bonus on your next relevant check. I'm just wondering actually now whether this would count as a related check to the last one that you picked up a bonus from, in which case you didn't need to spend the insight point.
I wasn't sure because it was my muse making it instead of me.
Yeah, I'm going to count that. I'm effectively treating you and the muse as a single person for most purposes.
Oh, in that case, I will unspend that point quite happily.
So yeah, feel free to unspend that point. And then, of course, this is a superior success again. So you can take that +10 back if you want to. Or you can take additional information. Or higher
I will take additional
information that you've got.
Actually, no, I will take the greater detail because that, I think, is more important in this.
Okay, so if you're asking for greater detail, I would like you to say again exactly what you're looking for so that I make sure I give you the right detail.
Okay, I am tracking my 2 patterns of movement for the previous me based on the journalist's reports and on what we know from the cameras.
And your specific interest was in where they diverged.
My specific points was
whether it
points
was
of divergence.
Spot, yeah?
Yeah, points of divergence, whether it was anywhere near the blind spot, and also where the greatest point of divergence occurred, i.e., where somebody would be distracting as much as possible.
Right.
From my activities.
So, the video shows your previous morph taking the case from the motel to the Kongyun tram. In addition to the tunnels, there are trams for moving around. So if you wanted to go and visit the Lion installation you've been told to leave alone, for example, there's a tram that would take you to the far end of the station. And now that you're tracking the whole thing through, you see them hand the case to a guard because you weren't looking in this part of the asteroid before. Following the complete trail through using your TACnet, it shows up where he gets off the train. Previously, you had him getting on the train but not getting off the train. Processing it on the TACnet and being able to just follow the path through and see where it next pings, you find him getting off the train at the Faijing Lion installation at the far end of the asteroid and handing the case to a guard. Then getting back on the tram and going back to the port and back onto the shuttle that he came in on, or they came in on. For some reason, I get everybody else right, but for some reason Kai becomes he. I don't know why.
I don't know why. I'm endeavouring to go straight down the line, but I think I'm getting the pronouns right. But for some reason, Kai just feels very male to me. I
Yeah,
think
there's
it's the
something about,
arrogance.
I don't know why, but yeah, maybe that's it.
I think it's the fact that he's
So
written
yeah,
up as an elite. They're written up as
the
an elite.
the camera shows you this strange collection. And initially, you couldn't find him coming out of that blind spot, but with the TACnet, you've got a clearer view, and you could work back essentially. He went into that blind spot, never came out of that blind spot, but then you see him. So the TACnet logs him somewhere else, and you can work back from there. And you still never really see him come out of the blind spot, or
Can
them come
I
out of the
make a
blind spot.
kinesics check?
But they do go. Now that's an interesting idea. So you
Can I
basically
make
want
a
to roll
kinesics check to make?
kinesics to see whether it's really you.
Yes, I want
Yeah.
to see if I recognise my own body language.
Okay, you can indeed. This is going to be an opposed roll. I will tell you that now. Just in
That's
case you
fine.
want to spend a
Actually,
pool to add 20 to your kinesics before you roll it.
I've got 70. I'm willing to risk it.
So you've got a pretty good already, yeah.
Yeah,
Just
I've
out
got
of
a
interest,
decent one.
99 is always a critical failure, even if your chance of
Okay.
success is over 100.
No red balloons. Okay, noted.
So, you've got a pretty good chance of this with a 70 kinesics. Anyone would think that you were the psychologist in this team and that studying body language was your thing.
Yeah.
To the surprise of no
that
one, the
is.
non-physical entity has a kinesics of 40.
Right.
Quite good
You're
at
aware
looking at
body
people.
language exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're aware body language exists. It's just not something you've ever had to have anything to do with.
Plus, of course, you're
Yeah.
quite capable of downloading into a morph yourself. You're just choosing not to at the moment.
He never has.
Yeah. Fair enough. That is a. Oh God! I'm remembering not to go. I've got loads of skill in this. I got a 69.
Okay. So, yeah, that is the absolute best roll that you could... Well, no, I suppose the best roll you could make it would be a 66, which would be a critical
Yeah, it would have been
and
the
also
66. Yeah.
superior.
Highest
But as it is,
critical you can get.
that is 2 superior successes, and yeah, in order for this opposed roll to beat you, your opponent would have to have a higher skill than you and roll more
Okay.
than your 69.
feel I've been
Unsurprisingly, that
decanted
has not
somewhere.
happened.
Yay.
So, I'm kind of going to choose for you what your superior success is, and I am going to give you additional information.
Okay.
So the first thing is, that's not you.
Yep. I had a feeling.
Secondly, it is you up to the blind spot, and it is not you
Right. Yeah.
after the blind spot.
Okay, I got grabbed and decanted. Somebody has borrowed my very expensive morph. I'm reasonably sure that violates the insurance.
Uh-oh.
It's
That
going to
doesn't
be
sound
out of
good.
warranty. And it's rude. That was my fork. And they better have put me somewhere safe.
Okay, for
You're
purposes
assuming
of
you're not
time,
dead.
Okay. I'm sharing this information real time, by the way.
Yeah.
I figure there's no disadvantage to it. And
No,
besides,
none
if
at
they
all.
trust me, then if I fake it later, then they will still trust me.
For purposes of time, I am going to skip ahead at this point, and I am going
Okay.
to skip any further researching of leads that you might do.
Okay.
So we will assume that you have spoken to Mariposa Chen, and that Ms. Chen has everything that Ms. Chen has told you matches what you have already learned for yourself. That
Okay.
he never turned up, she never got the thing.
Yeah.
If you wish, I will, if somebody wants to do this, let you use some G-Rep. Rep in this game, in many cases, works instead of money, essentially. I think it's G-rep. You have a number of types of rep available. Each of you has one or more. Njal has G-rep, but is the only one who has G-rep.
Yeah, no, I've got CFIPIR.
And G-rep is Guanxi rep. That is the social network for triads, cartels, gangs, and other criminal groups.
Oh,
So
good. We've got a criminal digital bird. Excellent.
you've got one person who
I'm
has a rep
Titanian.
with
What do you
those-
think?
with those groups.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have at rep, C rep, and I rep.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I have at rep, G rep, and I rep.
at rep, the Circle A list for autonomists, anarchists, titaniums, scum, and extropians. Scum, by the way, is not just scum, it is actually the name of a group in the setting.
Right.
That is what the effectively they're shipborne nomads.
So that's Brinker rep,
scum.
basically.
Yeah, that's very much Brinker rep. C-Rep is CivicNet, used by Planetary Consortium, Morningstar Constellation, Lunar Lagrange Alliance, Jovian Republic, and other hypercorp and capitalists. So pretty sure that Kai will have that.
No, absolutely
Kai
not.
kind of does, yes.
F-Rep is Fame, media network used by meta-celebrities, journalists, socialites, artists, and glitterati.
See
G-Rep
previous.
I-Rep is the I. The I is Firewall's secret internal network, so that's your rep within Firewall.
Okay.
Okay.
R-Rep, research network affiliates used by Argonauts, scientists, technologists, and researchers of all stripes. And X-Rep is ExploreNet for gatecrashers and exoplanet colonists. And you can use your rep for a number of things. Most significantly, you can call in favors with it. So, yeah.
Yes.
So you can acquire information gears or favors from others in the social network. This requires time and an appropriate favor. Roll the relevant rep score, same as you would for a skill. Type of favor you're asking for may impact the test. GM determines whether the favor rates as trivial, minor, moderate, or major. And there are limits as to how often you can do that. So if you wanted to, you could try and get some backup from Mariposa on a successful moderate G-Rep test. If you wanted to pull some triad backup, essentially, to help you out with whatever you may run into. But you are not required to do so. That's purely an option.
Else, that she has an interest.
Yeah. Under normal circumstances, I obviously wouldn't tell you that. I would let you think for yourself. I wonder if we can get anything out of this this person. But since this is a quick play, and B, we've none of us played this game before, and I'm trying to explain how it works, I'm letting you know you can do that.
Yeah. I mean, as I say, Zahiri doesn't have G-Rep, so if someone wanted
it's only Njal who has G-Rep in this group.
Otherwise,
unfortunately, someone will have to have suggested it to him.
Not a problem.
Yet again, his mind has wandered away from the conversation. The moment it was confirmed that she had no more information to give us, their mind went, butterfly.
Okay. So,
given that Mariposa's lost her payment to whoever has stolen my morph, they would have an interest, and it might be worth Kai's while mentioning said fact to Njal on the grounds that Njal clearly is dodgy and speaks the same language as this person.
You've worked together before, so you kind of know what each other's capabilities are.
So Kai knows Njal is dodgy.
Yes. Once Njal hears the sort of implication of, hey, maybe use some of that to convince her to be backup, they'll go, oh yes, hi, sorry. And we'll attempt to do so.
Okay, so as a moderate favour, this is an unmodified roll, just a straight rep roll. Not relevant to this, but you can only attempt a moderate thing once a week. There's a limit to how far you can push your rep, obviously. And the different types of rolls have different limits
Well, I have a
how
Jira
often you can do them.
of 35.
So you're looking for just a roll of 34 or less rather. If you get 34 exactly, that's a superior success. But that's the only result that will give you a superior success on this roll.
That is a 9.
So that is a success.
Mm-hmm.
It's not opposed or anything. You just you sort of do a little bit of talking, say the right things here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Your rep, which people can see your rep, essentially. You're on the same social networks, is what this comes down to. The Guanxi network. Mariposa, you can see Mariposa's rep. Mariposa can see your rep on that social network, and you can leverage that to indeed persuade her that it would be in her interests to send somebody to retrieve the payment. So what she will do is she will send one of her enforcers with you. So you will now have a triad guy.
Because as far as we're aware, the actual are we going to go off? Are we going after Kai, or are we going to go and get the payment back? Because that feels like it's two different things right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am sincerely hoping
I suggest trying to figure out what the hell happened to the other Kai, because the other Kai seems like they might know what happened to the payment. And then if we find Kai, and if he's still alive, or if they're still alive, sorry, they might be able to tell us who took the payment, and then we can figure out what the payment was after that.
I'm actually thinking that we could skip ahead, because I think that's taking a step back along the trail. I think we need to move to the next stage of the trail, because if we can find the endpoint of that, we can then backtrack after we've either retrieved the payments or taken it out of whoever's hide has been holding it.
According to the cameras, the payment was delivered to the Lion facility.
Yeah.
So the question you have to ask yourself is, do you believe the cameras? Was that somebody took over the morph in order to deliver the payment to the wrong people? Or was it that somebody stole the payment and took over the morph in order to leave a false trail?
And do they want us to go to that place to ambush us?
So your next action should essentially be based on which of those you believe to be the case. If you think that it was effectively stolen by Fajing, then you need to perhaps go and investigate the Lion facility. If you think that that's a false trail to put you off what's happened to the original Kai, or the previous Kai, then you need to follow where Kai disappeared.
Does the journalist who was blogging for us, by the way, blogging about me, have a slant on their post regarding Faying?
Mainly just the fact that her posts are somewhat anti-corporate, because since the place shut down, since the mines shut down, Fajing has basically just abandoned it. They've left. They've got a manager here who is, based on the posts, clearly just middle management whose career has dead-ended and has been dumped here to look after what is now essentially an abandoned facility, and a handful of security staff, mainly just Constable Yu and a few others, but Yu is the main one.
Stupid question. Yu's morph wasn't the one that I saw in the feed, was it?
No.
Just checking.
And the other thing that comes out of the posts is that there is something wrong on Kongyun Station, which occasionally Jade has attempted to connect to the Lion facility. though never with any kind of actual information. It's pure speculation and conspiracy theory. But over the last few years, in fact, almost going back since the station first opened, while it was still an active mining station, people have been disappearing, not often, but more than would be expected in a closed system like this. And others have been suffering psychological distress at a rate above what even a high-stress facility like this should indicate.
Okay. I wonder if there's any way of getting into those records. Wonder if the blogger has any access to those records. Wonder if the blogger's still alive. Here's the question.
I mean, you can get someone to do a research test to see whether you can find any such records, but it will be a difficult one. So you'll need someone who's actually good at research.
Unfortunately, if I remember correctly, I'm the only one who has
That would
research
be
in the
you,
first place,
yes.
and that's only a 50.
There's going to be
It's
a
only
verbal
50.
case of, clicking the fingers and pointing at the... Okay, we're researching this. Look at my hand and look at the paint. And there, okay. Put a Dreamies treat on it or something. To get to know that only works in Girls with the Dogs. Any chance of linking either my second brain or linking Beep to aid the research check? Because I don't have the skill, but Beep does.
Or I could do the pool thing, I think.
Thing as well. I'm not necessarily we necessarily
It's
just
insight,
one. I mean,
and
we
I
want
have-
this to come off.
I have 4 insight points.
Yes, can I have Beep looking over your shoulder and
AKA, can you have Beep constantly going, look, Shiny, keep your eyes on this, keep your eyes on this.
yeah, basically to help your focus.
Because I have a feeling the main reason research, if we consider the characters I've characterized them, the main reason research is so low, despite them being a hacker, is they are in the middle of research and then something pings off and then they're like, oh, what's that? And they lose track.
Tangential.
And suddenly, the origin of scallops has been thoroughly researched.
Yes, and
Okay,
I
so-
should have, 20 minutes ago, I should have finished this research.
Yep, rabbit
Under
holes are a
normal
thing.
circumstances, I would say no, because you're looking at using the teamwork rules for a muse to help another person. The muse is in your head. However,
Yes.
you have a cyber brain, and Niall is
I
an
do.
infomorph,
Yes.
which means that all Niall needs to do is put part of their distributed processing into your head, and suddenly they can talk to your muse.
I'm going to sling up some
This-
internal firewalls, but aside from that, I'm fine with that.
This has to be something they've done before, because they've worked together before, and
Yeah.
Niall's view of Kai
Yeah.
is they are clever, too clever, and you hope it doesn't undo them. Meaning they have probably spent a little bit of time in that head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I think
this almost certainly
essentially,
has happened before.
and in sort of narrative terms, how this is going to work out, Drat, is essentially, I think Kai is going to temporarily vacate the coprocessor that allows them to multitask, allowing Niall to run on that half of your brain.
Yeah, I was envisioning it as basically setting up a virtual machine in the cyber brain and deactivating the cyber brain's capability to move or manipulate the physical connections so it
Yes,
can't
it would
drive
be
the body.
it would be rather bad if you let Njal drive a body.
Yep.
There are multiple systems where they are banned from taking on
Yes.
a physical form
Yep.
because
No,
it has ended
it's fine.
badly.
I've just got you in. I've got you in a sandboxed, little sandbox situation. You just need to be able to talk to Beep. You don't need to be able to drive me.
So what that will do is that
But-
will
but
give a
bodies
plus
are so
10
fun.
bonus. So you'll get a
I
plus
am
10
not
bonus
a
to your research from
joyrider.
that. Which, if you wish to use an insight point, will stack with the plus 20 that you can get from the pool spend. So you can do this at
Yes.
a total of plus 30 if you're spending a point of insight.
Yes, I will do both. So that I have a
Okay,
30. So I have an
so
80 total.
In
Nice.
that
I have
case,
an 8.
what
See, this is what happens
going
when
to-
someone shines a shiny in front of Njal and goes, keep your eyes on this, keep your eyes on this.
Yes. Yep.
What this is going to come out at, because of the modifiers that are then being applied on top of that, is it's going to be a straight research roll, because this roll would be at minus 30 normally, and you're adding 30, so just a straight research.
Yep. That's an 8.
Yes.
So that does it.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd rather hope it does.
Just a vision
Okay.
Beep is there going to be closing all the tabs as you're opening them. You don't need that. You don't need that.
So-
No, I don't care what film's coming out next week.
What you find,
No fun, I'm
which
going to see after this.
as soon as you find the first traces of this, all of that ADHD, squirrel, distraction goes out of the window, and you focus
He
entirely.
basically managed to push
because
me
it
into
really
hyperfocus.
really grabs your attention and hyperfocuses you the moment you find
Yeah.
the first indication. And the indications that you find are initially of a number of social media posts that have been suppressed. They still exist, but the system has been modified to route people away from them, so you just can't see them.
Hey, shadow banning.
Yay!
You then continue your work, and you manage to push through and find those, at least some of those posts. And what you find are a number of posts talking about a mining team making an unusual discovery in one of the tunnels. Let me get a little bit more detail on that.
That's never a good start to a situation, is it?
They delve too deeply into Wiggly.
This is
Yeah,
how we get ball
they
logs, people.
Did indeed. They
Yeah.
So
you
they
will have
found
heard
something.
Njal squawk increasingly excitedly.
There's no real
At some point it
detail
becomes
on what they
incoherent.
found,
Yeah.
but that incident coincides with the point at which the rate of psychological trauma in workers on this asteroid begins to
Oh,
rise,
good grief.
and also with the point at which people begin to disappear. And the first of those disappearances are not at the time that they supposedly found it, but are members of that mining team. In the time since, I will be nice and I'll give you this for free without an additional roll. All of the members of that mining team, bar one, have since either disappeared or basically gone mad.
We have to find the last one.
Yep. Jump to the end.
The
Yes,
last one
Find the last one. See what they found out.
is one Josef Vess.
Who, what, where?
Yes. Where?
Okay, do you want to make me another research roll to find out what you can find out about Josef?
Yes, am I still in Kai's brain and am I still getting that 10
well.
bonus?
That's
You
entirely
are-
up to
I
you.
haven't
mean,
kicked you out yet.
if you're still in there, then yeah, you can get the additional plus 10 again.
Yeah.
There's
I'll stick to just
other
plus 10 to you.
modifiers to this one, so you can just
No.
roll it at plus 10.
Yes. 20.
Okay.
Nice.
So you find, via the usual social media posts and research, you find some information on Joseph Bess. For starters, you find out that he was a mining shift leader. He was the leader of the shift that found whatever it was that they found. So a work team manager for Fajing. And you also discover, going back further from that, that during the fall, which is 10 years ago now, of Earth, he worked briefly on the front lines as a combat medic before, like most people getting off Earth, he was infocasted in purely digital form off the planet. The sleeve he was wearing at that point never made it off the planet. Most people didn't.
Okay. So we need to locate. They were working as combat medic. Are they now working at the clinic?
No. Still work. Well, no longer working as a work team manager because there are no work teams anymore. No longer actually working at all. Like most people, just living off fabbed material because technically nobody actually needs a job in this day and age. In more recent years, since things started to go badly, he has interestingly strengthened a lot of his social networks. You find many more connections to other workers or other former mine workers, than he had before. It was when he was actually a work team manager, his connections were limited and primarily with ancillary people rather than those actually working for Fajing. So things like shop owners or what have you around the station, but not really for people actually working for Fajing. Now, however, since the mine's closed down, and it could be that it is simply the fact that he's no longer their boss that has caused this, he has forged far more social connections with former mine workers across the asteroid.
Are you feeding this through to?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Niall has been rambling.
Frankly, you're getting the edited highlights with occasional glitches and.
So with the awareness,
Niall has been rambling in Kai's brain because they can't be able to keep up the other side. Just they go fully into Kai's brain, and Kai is hopefully translating into normal.
Yeah, as I said, Kai is basically giving the edited highlights.
with
Kai,
that,
I think this is going to be a Kai thing. Actually, no, this wouldn't be a Kai thing. This would be a Niall thing. My mistake. Can we get a savvy check from Niall? So that's going to be
terrible.
Your savvy is not great.
No.
Would this be a savvy check, or would this be?
Please be anything
No, you know
else.
what? I'm going to make this actually a perceive check, which you're much better at. So you've got a 60 perceive by my reckoning.
Yes. Yes.
With just one thing that Zahiri is interested in with being fed this information, is like is the connection now to the other workers almost like Zahiri isn't really going to say cult, but
I am if you don't.
They're wondering about banding together the people in order to either go back into the mines or something like that. Because I have no religion at a relatively high, and I like Zahiri wants to assess. KNOW, not NO.
Sorry, just
Raven mythology.
Zahiri is wondering if the activity that Vess is showing is almost like I am trying to gather a group around me for this sort of
I think that
the
sounds exactly like the sort of thing that a no religion roll could be used for, yes. So feel free to make that roll.
okay. That is that's a double. 55. So succeed by 10.
And it's a critical because you got a double.
And it's a critical.
So,
Yes.
okay then, on a critical success, not only do you spot some very clear cult-like behaviour based on these posts, but following through from that slightly, sort of link off a link until you find a little bit more, you also find one reference to the word confessors, which seems to be referring to a group, although it doesn't specify whether it is a group that the person mentioning it and indeed Yosef is a part of, or whether it's a different group. It just seems to be referring to a group, and it's in amongst all of these very cult-like posts.
Sorry, I interrupted a perceived check there.
That's fine.
Yes, so yeah, we were on a perceived check indeed for Njal to notice something.
Mm-hmm.
How did we get on that one?
55.
Another crit.
Yay.
You jinxed me into 55, Chrono. Thank you.
Yeah,
Most convenient.
it's all about those crits. So in that case, yeah, I am going to go to the top level of information that I was considering giving you based on how well you rolled. You spot, or you realize that you have seen Yosef before, and you are very quickly able to locate where. And what you see is Yosef Vess in the company of two other fairly nondescript looking men. They have the right sort of look to be ex-miners, entering the blind spot, the camera blind spot, where Kai disappeared, from the opposite direction, about 2 minutes before Kai does.
Oh no.
And again, you don't see them leave it.
Niao rambles this to Kai very fast as they realize this.
I've been burned at someone's stake, haven't I?
I fear you may have, or rather your consciousness at least, because, well, we saw your body. Your body left.
Yeah, they've left my body in an altar somewhere. This is fine. There's my mind in an altar somewhere. That's fine.
It is starting to look like we need to make an expedition to this spot, either to find Veth or
Yes.
your whatever remains of your consciousness.
Yes. So the
You're-
armed
you're
enforcer
never
is
right.
coming with us then.
Yep.
Orkies.
Also, remember that there is a...
At this point, Zahiri will say, since we are due to make an expedition, we should probably visit the equipment supply to see what
Yep.
we can find.
That's exactly
What
what I
a
was about
gun.
to say. There is a scratch space where you know there is a gun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Kai, would you rather like me to leave your brain? 'Cause this is rather cozy.
Yes, yes. Don't get too used to it. I wouldn't want you to start wanting to put up shelves. So yes, I'm going to politely usher them out in a pat your knees, stand up, saying, "Gosh, is that the time?" sort of way.
Niao disappears out of your mind and settles to basically digitally perch on Zahir. Just me.
Okay, Kai's going to back up the records of what Niall got up to in their brain, just for future analytical purposes, and
Here is
then
a
purge.
random scribbling of notes in the classic. Nothing on this page makes sense in any way because there is no logical order to them.
Mate, I played Alan Wake too. I'm looking at this as the mind place.
So heading to the scratch space, which is it's a crevice in the basalt wall of an unlit tunnel 1 kilometre from inhabited from new cities in
God,
inhabited space.
This will be where the cult
So-
Ooh,
is.
spooky.
It's basically it is one of the mapped tunnels, but it's one that isn't particularly used and it's not lit. But that's okay. You can get a torch easily enough.
Double spooky.
So you can find the scratch base, and inside you find the stashed gear as you're expecting, but you also find two things you're not expecting. One of them is a steel case,
Oh,
and the other is a note.
Oh, ooh. What does it say? What does it say?
okay.
It says-
I'll read them. As the only one with opposable thumbs, I'll read them.
Okay, you do that. I think you'll find that that mech has opposable thumbs. Thank you very much.
Uh,
Sure,
I
the
thought
hair
you
has
had
Well,
opposable
you're
thumbs.
the-
thumbs.
I've got
It's these-
retracting
the-
limbs, and yeah,
There's definitely
yes,
little
yes,
hands
you've got
on the
the-
front of
No.
the graphic.
I've
You've
got
got,
hands.
yes, you've got the terrifying claw limbs that look like they
Yeah.
should spin at the wrist.
Yeah, exactly.
Now there's more thinking in. You're the one with properly bilateral vision because they've maintained their crow vision.
Yes.
Like there's a reason they always look at people with one eye because
Yeah.
they've
Okay,
maintained
yeah,
that limited
that
field of
makes
view.
sense.
Yeah. Okay, scavenger.
Right. So the note says, "Someone is preying on the locals. I'm holding the triad payment until I know it's not them. I'll report back as soon as I have something." And it is marked with the Greek letter chi.
Is this my phraseology?
That is absolutely your phraseology, yeah. And that's how you tend to sign things.
Yes, I'm going to have a chat with myself.
Well, if yourself is alive, which I'd rather hope so because I'd rather like to find out what the hell.
I'm now
And
wondering
also-
if myself is that blogger.
So
I
in
believe
addition-
I believe yourself is not. Even if we find yourself, what is within yourself is not you. Well,
Yes.
I don't believe that
there-
yourself
I'm rather
is yourself.
I'm rather
No.
I'm rather talking about finding that fragment because we know the body won't be there, but maybe they still exist somewhere, just not in a body. I mean, I'm not in a body, and I'm existing just fine.
True.
Yeah, true.
and the case, does it look like the same sort of case that was.
It looks exactly like the case that
Well,
that you know.
do we
that
know
you-
Yeah,
the
I'll have
code?
moved to be perched on that.
Do we know the code for the original case?
Um.
That seems important.
Okay. So I'm going to have to contradict the scenario here because I already accidentally contradicted the scenario. So I'm going to say that
We've
you
all
do
done
not
that.
know the code for the original case. You could
Them
make an
last.
attempt to hack it if one of you has the appropriate skills.
My job.
That would be an infosec test. Which
Yes,
is
80.
okay. So I'm going to apply.
Better than
This
mine.
is not easy. I'm going to apply a minus 30 to this, but you
Can
can
I
make
aid
an
another?
infosec
50.
at minus 30. If you want to work together, that gets a plus 10 to
Oh, I get to go back in your brain.
Niall's roll.
You didn't, but on the other hand, if there's quicker,
It will
I'll
be.
make
You
up the
know
spare
me.
bedroom.
You know
There
me.
is also another.
You know
thing
this will
that
be
can
better if
do,
you help.
which is in addition to being able to spend a pull point before making a roll to add 20, you can also spend a pull point before making a roll to ignore modifiers for that roll.
Oh, also no minus.
So
Okay.
that
No
would
minus.
cancel the minus 30 if you spend a pull point.
I'll do that instead. So I've spent 2.
And now
Yes.
I am ruling, I don't know if this is how they intended it to work, but I am ruling that means you ignore all the modifiers. So you wouldn't be able to get the bonus for working for teamwork because
Yeah.
it would cancel that
I
modifier as
think
well.
I think Niall would still do that because part of that point spent is them basically going, Kai, make me focus, please.
Because the phrasing in the rulebook is ignore all modifiers to the test. So as far as I'm concerned, I think that's
Yeah.
positive and negative modifiers. But
I
that still
have
just
a
lets you make a
feeling-
straight roll instead of a roll that
God.
essentially Well, you could get it up to a straight roll if you had teamwork and the plus 20 from a point spend, but you can just get it to a straight roll by using the point spend anyway.
Yeah. You do realise, by the way, that Beep is definitely an anime Cupid with little wings and a laser pointer, as far as you're concerned. Literally pointing at what you need to look at.
That's rather why they like to work with Kai, because they know that Beep makes them focus. It's like body doubling.
What else was in the cache?
Okay, what else is in the cache? 2 doses of Kick, which is a combat drug. It does not work, unfortunately, for mechs or infomorphs, but it would provide +1 vigor pool for 8 hours if taken by Kai. 2 applications of healing spray for biomorphs and 1 of repair spray for synthmorphs and equipment. Repairs 1d10 damage an hour for 12 hours. That obviously would work on Zahir. A cleaner nanoswarm that can sweep and polish a room, which is handy for removing forensic traces. This can be used multiple times for 5 days of use. A railgun pistol, which is similar to the medium pistol. In fact, I think pretty much identical to the medium pistol that you had to leave behind. And that last thing is what's in the case, so I won't tell you that until you find out whether you open the case.
Darn it.
Okay. I will. Zahiri will swap out the holdout pistol for the railgun pistol and pass the holdout pistol to somebody else.
Well, I'm guessing that would be Kai.
To Kai, sorry.
I don't really think that Niall's going to be able to use it very well.
Dropping it
unless
to
Kai lets me use their arm. Unless Kai lets me use their arm.
No, I don't think that's what we're doing.
So
no, Kai has read Brandon's answer.
I mean, to a certain extent, you could also occupy Zahiri. So
yeah,
I
this
don't
is true.
think you'd be any happier. No one wants Niall anywhere near using their body.
Well, I mean, Zahiri's probably okay with you, like delving into their body stroke brain as a backup, as a way of protecting yourself.
Oh yeah,
you are armor class Zahiri.
Yeah.
Since time is pushing on, shall we have a go and see whether you are opening this case?
Yes.
Another critical.
Oh, flaming hell.
The maximum critical I can get with an 80.
Okay. So yeah, you calculate you hack the lock, discover what the password is, open the case, and inside, as you were told,
ramble to Kai. This is good.
As you were told, there is a nanoswarm inside. What you were not told is what type of nanoswarm was in there. It is a disassembler swarm. When deployed, this swarm will take apart any object, including characters, in a 10-meter diameter sphere area. It can be programmed to target or ignore specific types of matter. But in game terms, it inflicts 1d10 damage value per turn, destroying armor first. It's primarily intended to function as an industrial mining tool, but can be used for other creative purposes.
Let's not use that near Zahiri. And face it away from her.
I feel you don't have to be that creative to use it for other things.
Bish, could I pre-program that to ignore, say, us as shapes?
Yeah, you absolutely could.
How is it stored?
Right, so what's in the case?
The next question
is a hive.
Right.
Alexa, shut up.
Okay, it reacted to hive. Is there something that we should know?
Yeah. Okay, so inside the case is a hive. What the hive does is it effectively creates the nanites, the nanoswarm. It is capable of either replenishing an existing swarm or replacing a swarm that has been completely used up once per day.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, there's a machine in there that builds disassembler nanites, and you can release them to do horribleness.
So, what Zahiri is going to suggest is that we swap that hive for the cleaner nanoswarm.
It makes sense.
And probably either we leave the disassembler here or Kai holds it.
Oh no, Kai wants to have a word with it. Yes.
Well, that's the thing. And then
Yeah.
the cleaner nanoswarm is now in the case, because probably by now the security guard or like whoever vessel or such is working with has discovered that they don't have the disassembler, and are going to be wanting to look for it.
Any chance I could booby trap that cleaner swarm to respond to, say, the opening of the case, thus exploding out and wiping any kind of trace evidence that we were here?
Do you have the program skill?
Oh, there's an interesting concept.
I do.
Okay.
I think the answer is no, but Niall could do it.
No, but y'all can do it, yes. If I can dictate what, conceptually, what I'm after, then yes, I should be able to help Niall with that.
Okay, so we will narratively spin past this and say that you have booby trapped the case, and that you have then moved on to investigate what happened to your previous morph.
Cool.
Yes.
One thing with that, the case which now has the booby trapped thing is strapped to Zahiri's frame, because I have magnetic system.
Okay.
So
so it's a steel case that will work.
I need fridge magnets.
Yeah, basically. So I've got a max bonus to cling to ferrous materials and objects. So I'm assuming that's them to me as well.
Yeah.
I've got visions now, just sticking loads of different souvenir fridge magnets all over Zahiri.
Now
So
is
that's
now
his way of
perched on
us
top of
keeping track.
I said.
Thanks for that.
So,
and
heading
I do
to-
indeed want to program the hive to completely ignore our morphs.
the two of you. Yep.
Yeah.
I would suggest.
I don't have a physical form.
Yeah, but you do need to be on something. So, I would suggest that to be on the safe side, you might also want to program it to ignore any moats in the area. So, worst case scenario, Niall can always jump into 5 or more moats.
Yeah.
To carry
we'll do that.
his info form.
And pardon me. Given that my previous morph was basically the same synth morph with different hair as this, that will cover both.
Yeah. Okay.
So I won't find myself and then accidentally disintegrate myself.
So heading to the blind spot, it comes as no shock to you at all to find an unlabeled tunnel that does not appear on the maps. Indeed, the moment you find it, Kai gets a ping. There is a Tagant nanobot here, which has been programmed to respond to Kai's mesh ID. And it literally just pings when you get within range of it. As you step into the as you move forward and go into and look into the tunnel, another one pings you from further down the tunnel.
Oh, good. Breadcrumbs.
There is indeed. They're even referred to in the scenario as Kai's breadcrumbs.
Clever. Very, very clever.
Yeah,
Okay, are we
do
really are very
lead
clever.
you through the tunnels.
Zahiri is going first.
Yeah,
I will
that
shoot
makes
the
perfect
location
sense.
of each advanced breadcrumb as I get it over the TACnet so that they can both see it.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
now appears to be on Sahiri. They want to be at the front.
with
You got the top mounted. No.
So I do have
Oh.
enhanced vision where so whatever tetrachromatic vision is, I have,
Nice. I don't.
and so I have both that and lidar.
So,
Oh, brilliant. You can be the whole game.
oh yeah.
Sorry.
So you have absolutely no problem at all there. I really don't like that this is a perceived test at -20 because I know it's supposed to be
It
because of
shouldn't be.
distraction, but you've got phenomenal vision essentially.
Yeah. So I have 60 perceive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am going to skip the perceived test altogether, and I am going to ask because I happen to know that you are also the person in front is the only character to have this skill for a hardware demolitions roll.
Ah,
And now this roll is at -30, but as mentioned before, you can cancel that with a pull point spend if you wish to make this easier.
I have one insight in my pool, so yeah, I will spend it though.
Okay, so just a straight hardware demolitions roll.
Straight hardware demolitions check.
This I'm gonna need now
That
more
is a 19.
or not.
Okay, 19
Yay.
is less than 55. It's not a
Yeah.
superior success,
Nothing
but
special, but yeah.
it is still pretty good. Right, in that case, I'd like you to make me a fray test.
A
Now,
fray test. Straight fray
you have
test.
pretty good, yeah, straight fray test. You have a
Yep.
pretty good fray, so this should not be too big a problem.
You say that.
Uh-oh.
I have 70 fray and I got a 79, but
Oh
Ooh.
no.
I can
Oh.
wait. I can. Oh no, I would need to do that post fact, wouldn't I?
You would have needed to spend on that
Pre-fact.
beforehand. All you can do now is to make it a 97, which really isn't going to help you.
No.
No,
Oh
that's
dear.
uh,
Well, this is fine.
Even cool.
I'm sure it's
Roll,
fine.
Flip, upgrade. Yeah, no. So downgrade. However, because it is where is this? Superior. Oh, oh no, that's 66 or less that fails.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's just an ordinary failure. It's not a superior failure.
Okay. Well, fortunately for you, you have got armor.
Yeah.
The reason this is fortunate is because although you notice the explosive device attached to the cave wall
Oh.
before it goes off,
Yeah.
you're not particularly effective in minimizing its impact. The fact that you are ahead of the rest of the team, not very much ahead, admittedly, but you are ahead of the rest of the team, so I am allowing it to only affect you.
Yep.
However, I now need to quickly check how armor works and why it's got two values.
Yeah. Energy and kinetic. So I'm guessing
That's
depending
what
on
the
the
two
type.
values are. So
Yeah, I've
this
got
is going to
14
be,
energy and 10 kinetic.
I think this is going to be a kinetic, I'm assuming, for an explosion. Sounds like kinetic energy to me.
Mm-hmm.
Combat. Where do we have combat? Where do we have combat? Why have we got initiative there, but the rest of the combat rules are apparently somewhere else?
Because rude.
Actions and combat, that'll be the one. Right, okay, so we don't want armor mods, we just want armor. Right, this is an area effect, but that's not really going to be anything relevant for this immediate thing. Right, damage points. All physical harm is measured in damage points. These are cumulative and recorded on your character sheet. Damage points are characterized as fatigue, bruises, bumps, sprains, minor cuts, blah, 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 blah. Any source of harm that inflicts a large amounts of damage points at once, however, is likely to have a more severe effect in the form of wounds. Each wound that you have is a penalty on everything that you do, so you don't really want wounds. So... still haven't found armor. I'm guessing armor simply subtracts from the damage that you take. But
yeah, it's just I guess
armor,
it's depending on whether armor is ablative or not.
When you're hit in combat, subtract your AV from the damage applied. Yeah, got it. So in that case, you will only take 20 damage from this explosion.
That's minus the 10.
That's minus... was it 10?
I've got 10 kinetic armor.
It's 10 kinetic. Oh, well, in that case, you take only 18. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry, I remembered the wrong number. That's totally different. Yeah, it makes all the difference.
So 18 damage taken, right? What are my damage thresholds then?
Okay, so your wound threshold is 11, so you will be taking a wound from this because it is higher than 11.
Right, okay.
And your durability and death rating determine basically how much damage you can take. When you hit your durability, you're incapacitated. If you hit your death rating, you're dead. So at 55 points of damage, you're out of the fight, but you're not dead.
So is it every 11 points of damage is one wound?
That is a good question. Is it every 11 points of damage that's one wound, or is it just if you pass? I think it is. Yes, it is. I remember now. It is every 11 points of damage. So in this case, because you only took 18 points, you didn't quite hit a second wound. So you've just taken one wound, which means that now you're at minus 10 to everything you do from this point onwards.
Somewhat unnecessarily, Zahiri sends a red alert over to TACnet as you see that, but that also comes with the stay where you are while
being digitally on top of you, squawks and flies back, although they technically don't need to. And it's like, hey, well, yeah, I noticed. Big explosion.
So at this point, as the dust from the explosion begins to clear, you find yourself under attack. I'm not going to actually run this fight because time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there is a brief period where you spend a lot of time hiding behind rocks and firing off shots into dust clouds while shots come back from the other side of the dust cloud, until eventually your opponents do a runner. They do a runner partly because you're firing railguns in their direction, and partly because while you're doing that, Njal is hacking their weapons and turning them off. Moving forward, continuing down the line, having done that, now also, if one of you wishes it, with an assault rifle, which was dropped by a fleeing opponent, but which, because Njal turned it off, Njal can turn it back on again, knows exactly how. You eventually find yourself at a door. A bulkhead door. Strangely, it does not appear to be part of any of the facilities here. It's not. It doesn't match the style of anything else. And what you can see is essentially that this cave, this tunnel, seems to open up slightly in this area, and you can see dents and dings on a wall and on a bulkhead and the door in it that seem to indicate that tunneling hit this and stopped dead because the mining tools hit the wall. So they've cleared out the area to either side slightly and discovered that yes, there is some sort of a structure here buried completely within the asteroid, and with a large bulkhead door with a biohazard symbol in rust red marking chalk.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Is this
This
where?
looks totally safe.
Is this where the people we were fighting have disappeared through? If there isn't,
There are a couple of other tunnels leading off to the sides. It seems that they skipped down those, but Kai's pings led you this way.
Ooh, scary.
Well, either old me is trying to get me killed, which is just rude.
All of us killed.
it seems
Well, not you.
Yes, you
I'm
too.
also somewhere else.
it seems strange
when-
because then it would. My thoughts would be that they were looking for the disassembler to breach this door. But you are getting pings from beyond it, are you?
Okay, initially no.
Certainly up to it.
If you approach the door, you will then get a ping from the far side of the door. You have to be pretty close because the door blocks a lot of the signal. But when you get close enough, you get a ping from the far side, which contains not just a ping, but a message. Encrypted with Kai's private SIG, it reads, collect a sample, report back to Elyadir, and to decide what to do with it.
Okay.
You were doing something really cool. I wish I'd been on the original one. That would have been fun.
Right.
Was that collect a sample or collect a sample?
Collect a sample.
Right.
Right. Can we get this door open?
The door is not locked. You can
That's not
indeed
what I
get the door
said.
open.
Stand back.
Do you have that cleaner one?
Zahiri will.
Just occurred to me. There's a biohazard beyond here. We have cleaner nanites.
You do have cleaner nanites, yeah.
Could we use the cleaner nanites to neutralise whatever the biohazard is behind there?
I mean, it depends what kind of biohazard it is and how.
It may also be what the ping is requiring a sample to be collected of. However, I do not have an organic body, an organic frame.
You don't know.
I suggest that
can't think of
biohazard
it.
is probably unlikely to harm me.
Yeah, I'm willing to stand back and allow to do their thing.
Zahiri moves up to the door, and I mean, do I have any scanners of any kind? Yeah, I mean, no, that LiDAR wouldn't work here.
Unfortunately, I don't have my bot. I had to leave that behind.
No, I don't have. I mean, it doesn't say that my wear is any particular sense of. Oh, hang on, neurochem. Oh no, that's enhanced synapses and neurotransmitters for vigor rather than.
Gives you increased vigor.
Okay, no worries then. So
the only
yeah,
thing I can see that might be of use to you, and both Zahiri and Kai have this, is that your morph has a puppet sock.
yeah.
I was about to say exactly the same thing. Do motes count as morphs?
You are unfortunately not an infomorph. If you were an infomorph, you could distribute yourself among a number of motes.
Yeah.
However, you're not. So you can't just
Y'all.
jump. into something else.
Any chance you could be a few motes, and if we crack that door and then reseal, you pop in and see what's there?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you
Yeah.
distribute yourself over at least 5, it has to be at least 5 modes.
Yeah.
You might need to do a little bit of, this might take you a few minutes. You might need to do a little bit of mesh searching, find the nearest motes, drag them over here, because there probably aren't any all the way down this uninhabited tunnel. But you still have mesh access, which means you can find some and hijack them, bring them here.
Yep.
But then you could leave 4 outside and just send 1 inside.
For a while.
Certainly.
Yeah. Meow flickers for a while. Brings 2 inside the tunnel. 1 to then push into the room, and 1 to keep out here so they can very quickly get out.
Yeah.
How long does it take to do a backup?
You need the
And
right
how much
hardware.
space does it take?
Basically, you don't have the hardware to back up.
I've only got the wireless transceiver, I suppose. Yeah.
No, you can back up to your cortical stack, essentially. So if something happens to your morph, your cortical stack can be recovered in order to get your.
I was wondering about backing up the owl.
Backing up.
Niall is also somewhere else. Niall is not the only Niall.
Niall will be backed up somewhere else, but that of course won't have the memories of this.
Won't have
These memories.
What I was thinking is not doing a complete personality backup or anything, but just literally a memory backup of, say, the last hour.
Could Niall do
As a
basically
straight data thing to my control stack or something?
jump into Kai's brain and basically just go, basically word vomit everything they remember from their last backup, and then jump right back out.
Beep, take a memo.
Because
this is something I would need to have a much better idea of the way in which those.
Niall has
work
enhanced
to know.
memory. Niall has enhanced memory.
I mean, we might actually just be getting ourselves in here, because my mesh inserts have I've just realised my mesh inserts have medical sensors on them.
Yes, so does mine.
So I'm wondering if basically can we crack the door, and Zahiri basically extends those sensors to assess what is beyond the door.
Yeah, you can certainly try that. So, beyond the door is a large mist-filled chamber. The mist blocks not only your sight, but also all of your sensors. It is registering null on your medical sensors, which could simply be that it's non-organic, but you're certainly not getting anything off it. And your LiDAR won't penetrate it either.
Well, that's just rude.
You can get in just through the edge of the fog, but no distance in.
Okay.
And the fact that it blocks LiDAR is really weird.
Yeah. And nothing is. I try and focus my vision to see if it can, so the tetrachromatic vision will look into electromagnetic spectra as well.
Yeah, you're not getting anything off that either. Something about this fog is blocking your tetrachromatic vision.
Okay, I relay this back over the Technic. I suspect this is what sample we are required to collect.
I don't want to go in there. I don't want to risk getting bits of me weirded out by that. That doesn't seem like a good idea.
Yeah, I will. I mean, I'm a medic. I've probably got medical stuff secreted away in a compartment somewhere. So a part of my carapace opens up, and I pull out some sample vials and just try and get some try and pull some samples of this fog.
I think
If it
that's a
will,
phlebotomy kit.
if it will allow itself to be scooped, or if
Right. Zahir moves forward, edges forward, and
yeah,
attempts to get a sample of the fog. As you reach into the fog with your sample kit to try and enclose some of it,
yeah,
the fog suddenly reacts. It shoots towards you, and your first indication of what you're
swarm.
facing is when the sample kit just disintegrates in front of you. Exactly the way it would if you triggered that disassembler swarm.
So here we
This
run.
fog, however, is much, much bigger, and it's sweeping forward towards all of you. What is
right.
this
Here-
mysterious
here-
fog?
run,
Will
run,
our
run, run.
heroes survive? We unfortunately won't know because we've definitely run out of time. So we're going to end on a cliffhanger at what would be the final encounter of this scenario.
Thanks, Vish.
I
I
hope
appreciate that.
I
Remind me
hope
to do
you
the same
guys
thing
have
to you on
enjoyed
Thursday.
this. There's a lot more to this adventure, a lot of different encounters that you can have along the way that I've had to skip out because, as I say, the way we play, I reckon 3 to 4 sessions this adventure would
Yeah,
last
this
for
feels
without
like
any
it's a
Oh,
three
yeah.
session now.
does.
I've really
Yeah.
pushed it through quite hard to get to the end so that we can get a good, not finish the scenario, but get a good ending on this session.
I think
Good.
I think for testing, I think mostly for testing out the system. I
That
like
has been pretty good.
I like the way the system works. I think I want to
Yeah.
know or enough at least to say I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The setting is weird. I do prefer this. This is the second ed, isn't it?
This is the second ed. It's
Yeah.
according to Posthuman, it's 95% compatible with the first ed. They've not made that many changes, to be honest. We
It
didn't
makes
really
more sense, though.
when we played it before. We didn't really encounter the system because it was run very freeform when we played it before.
That's true.
However, the system does make sense. I like the whole special and double special, I think exceptional successes thing. A lot of games use criticals on doubles because that's so much easier than calculating 5% of your skill and has exactly the same effect.
Yeah.
First time I came across that, I think, was first edition Harnmaster all the way back in the 80s, I think. So that works very nicely, and the 3366 rule works very nicely as well. That it works both ways.
I think it will take a little bit. It will take a little getting used to because of the way the thresholds work. But I think it's at least grokkable at a glance, even if the numbers will take a while to settle in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what could be useful for the purposes of this playtest, and in general, having an explanation of some of the skills which are not immediately obvious.
Yeah. I mean, I may have been misusing some of the skills because I haven't been looking up descriptions.
Because our
in a
the thing is,
longer
our
game
traits,
session, I probably would.
our traits,
but
wear and gear are fine because they're on the second sheet.
Yeah.
Or at least I assume they are for you guys.
Page 6
Yeah.
of the quick play just gives a one-line description of each of the skills to give you a basic idea of what they are.
That might actually be quite
but I-
handy because
But
finding
I
out where
wasn't
the
really
divisions come.
looking anything up because I was
No,
just
and-
working on the principle. I'm in a
No.
hurry. I'll just work
Honestly,
it through
yeah.
and see.
Honestly, for a quick thing, it was like most of the skills I say, apart like kinesics is the odd one, is an odd
Yeah.
one, and such. But I think most of the skills are fairly understandable at a glance.
And most
Even
of
if
them
the
are right, yeah.
even if the details of the niche details of usage might not be.
As an inexperienced
defining
Eclipse Phase GM,
different
it's
maps.
very easy to use perceive, and I did on at least one occasion use perceive instead of kinesics because I forgot the kinesics skill initially.
The other thing is just a note on what the reps are.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was
'Cause
largely,
I
apart
was
from that
looking
one
at going,
situation where the
I
scenario
cannot remember.
specifically said you could use rep for this, I was
Yeah,
largely ignoring rep. They're far more important in a campaign
yeah,
game, obviously.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's just it's weird to it's weird it's on there and doesn't have a well, this is what your breakdown. Although I guess they're expecting that anyone who has the character sheets will also have the quick play document,
Yeah,
which,
yeah,
to be
probably.
honest, I didn't look at. Um,
Yeah, I didn't because I didn't want to
but
I didn't want it spoiled.
but for that, I have to say that these quick play character sheets were remarkably well done. I
Very well
did not
done overall.
I
Yeah.
did not feel that I was missing a huge amount by not having everything detailed. Or
Do
Yeah.
you
I
know
am gonna
one of the
say,
very few things that annoyed me about my sheet? It's purely is a layout issue, not a content issue. It's the description of my character underneath the portrait. Who decided that smaller font was the way to go when you had at least another column's worth of space?
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
You could have
Well, I
easily
can pretty
added two
much
or three
tell you who
points to the
decided that,
font.
and that was Adam
Yeah, that
Jury.
would be.
Now, overall,
Hi,
I am going to
I would
say
like.
all hail Adam Jury, because apart from a
Yeah,
couple of little bits and pieces like that,
yeah,
that's who did all of the graphic design and layout work, and also
yeah.
was some of the editing on this, and all of the things like the hyperlinks where you can click through, where a page reference is given in the rules, you can click through and it'll take you to that page. All of that apparently, according to the interview that I was watching with Rob Cross, no, not Rob Cross, Rob Boyle, the other one is Cross. Anyway, the other Mr. Cross, who co-created this,
Yeah.
apparently Adam Jury did all of that
Yeah.
stuff and is responsible for just how well hyperlinked
I
and useful
I am not
these books are.
I am not griping. It is purely that it's
yeah,
weird. You literally could
Yeah.
get another column of text in, and it
Yeah,
could
you could
therefore
make it
be
a
the
little
same
bigger.
size. Yeah, it's a little too small, even on the 32-inch screen.
yeah.
The other thing I will
Yeah,
say
I have
about
It's
this
to
game,
I have to
Cross,
zoom in
I found
anytime I
his
want to
name.
read it.
The other thing I will say about this game is it is billed as a horror game. And it has rules for what they've changed it in second edition from sanity to stress, and they refer to trauma now as a result of
Yeah.
that stress, because they've got some feedback from from people sort of
Yeah.
in the know, and that is a far more informed way of referring to it, and I like they made that change.
Yeah.
There were places where stress tests could have been made in that, and I kind of skipped over them. You can go full horror with this game if you want to. If you want to run Alien, it will do that. If you want to run Event Horizon, it will do that. And to be honest, if you want to run some biomechanical Cthulhuid stuff, it will do that. If you want to run this game as a horror game, you can do that. If you want to run it as an action horror game, you can do that. If you just want to run it as a conspiracy sci-fi, you can do that. It's a very versatile game in that respect. You can just decide for yourself how much of the horror you want to put in. And I don't think it needs to be a horror game at all. I think it can be, but I really don't think that it needs to be. So I would say
think this
to
is-
anybody who might be put off by its description as being a horror sci-fi game, don't be. You can ignore all that.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
I
I
think there is-
specifically read the intro to the quick play because you know my aversion to horror. So I specifically read the intro to the quick play to basically like, okay, gender fuckery. I'm already on board with the system, but how will I feel about the quick play? And I thought, there's obviously you could easily play up the horror of that little end bit of,
Oh yeah,
oh, your arm is now being disintegrated. Have fun.
absolutely, yes.
Like you can
Yeah.
play up the horror of that, and poor Niall can have the experience of watching his friends be eaten and then have to basically eat himself into something else, into a moat immediately.
I
But
think there's enough. I think I think there is a beauty in this system stroke setting that because I do feel whilst you could divorce the mechanics from the setting, I think they probably do work very well hand in hand from what little I have seen. But there is enough philosophical issues with the basic transhumanity, fall of humanity line that you don't have to go a horror route. It is hard enough sci-fi on its own without that to provide a suitable system for people who want to explore that. It doesn't
You
have
can
to
lean a
be.
lot more on the you can lean a lot more on the dystopia side of it than the horror side of
not
it if you
And
wanted to.
not even the
actually,
dystopia side, but to
Yeah.
focus on the what does it mean to be somebody in this
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
That kind of
and
philosophical line
identity is a great
there
thing, because
without.
we get
Yeah,
someone like Kai, for example. Now, Kai deliberately forks themselves multiple times. It's not a big deal for Kai. But what if
An explanation, by the
Kai
way, of the game term would have been useful. I knew it because I remembered from last time.
and
But if I
also, of course,
hadn't
it's
read the
used
rule
in
book,
Altered Carbon, which you've read.
it is also used in
yeah,
Altered
and like
Carbon. Yeah,
from general genre awareness, I can pick
yeah.
up the.
However, the
Yeah.
phrase hedonistic thrill forking, just for a second, did give me a
Yeah, it's a good
moment.
phrase. It's a good phrase.
It is.
But yeah, let's say for a moment that Kai was not somebody who was into that, who was far more protective of their identity. Say you get to the end of this scenario where you are hunting down your missing fork, essentially, your missing self, and they're still alive. And at that point, there are two of you. That gives so many interesting options as to
I
who
give-
isn't
I
real.
give
You get
great-
into Farscape, that whole
Yeah.
Two
I was
Brightons
about to
thing.
say I give great thanks for the fact that I have watched Farscape multiple
Yeah.
times.
So yeah, this game does Farscape
I
as well.
play
And what
rock,
this
paper,
game
scissors.
also does, another sci-fi series that I didn't mention earlier because I was specifically talking about horror. Thanks to the Pandora gates, if you run a gate crashing campaign, you've basically got Stargate in this universe. So you can play Stargate, a version of essentially Stargate in this game. There is a lot that it can do. It gives you Cyberpunk or Shadowrun if you play a criminal campaign. Gives you Stargate if you play a gate crashing campaign. You've got this bizarre world-saving James Bond thing with the default firewall campaign. Overall, it's
People
just got a
really
lot of
don't want me running
possibilities for
this.
what you can do with it.
I have to
Yeah.
say whilst I came into this with whilst I came into this open-minded with the thing, I was half expecting not to like it. Partly because and regardless of anything else, I wondered whether or not the issues around like the separation of gender and sexuality and presentation and things like that would detract from you being able to play the game, because there's always a little worry on that front. But I don't think it necessarily, like, you can ignore a lot of that if you want, particularly if you are going for a more action game, or it is there for you to play on as you want and as your group's comfort level is
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I feel like it depends so much on like who's playing. Like I am someone who is, as you know, non-binary.
Yeah.
Gender is not a thing for me.
Hmm.
This is the first time I play a character that does have a gender, in really anything, that isn't a video game. And as you may have noticed, I kept forgetting.
Yeah.
I kept they them.
I think that,
because
like,
I've gotten so in the
like-
habit of that.
yeah,
I
Zahiri,
was
like,
trying so hard. I was trying so hard with Kai to keep to they them, but he
I
just
don't know why I had
Kai
so
just
much
feels
trouble
like a
with
fella.
Kai.
It's
The
not
weird
just
thing
you,
is-
Fish.
Meanwhile,
To me,
yeah.
Kai feels like a fella.
To me
I
as
don't
well.
know
The weird thing is I
why.
kept calling Jarl
Yeah,
they
same.
when Jarl is a he, and I kept calling Kai
Yeah.
he when Kai is a they. So I did very badly on that when it came to the whole gender thing.
Zahiri
Me and
here
Trump
is
basically
listed
just traded genders.
Yeah, Zahiri here is listed as gender neutral, sex dash.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, sex is
I-
dash
I
on me as well, but
probably
that's
not.
because I am not a thing.
I quite like the way they've done that. That they have separated out. I mean, obviously, it's their definitions
Necessary.
rather than actual
Yeah.
definitions. But the way they've separated it out, that you've got gender is to do with your ego and sex to do with your morph. I think
Yeah.
makes it very clear as to what you're dealing with, because at any
My-
given time you
my
can have
one-
anything you want.
One reservation I do have, although to carry on my previous point before I
I
forget
see.
it, sorry,
That's right.
is I wonder though if you don't play on those, how whether or not you lose anything of the way the system was intended and the questions that the system is intended to throw, wants to throw up.
I think you probably do. I've listened to a couple of actual plays of first edition Eclipse Phase, and to be honest, in the actual plays, the issue of gender was never raised at all. Everybody's ego and morph were the same gender, except in those occasions where somebody had a genderless synth morph, where it was just they were a robot, and otherwise it just never came up at all. Clearly, the game wants you to be more aware of it. You only have to look at the pre-gen PC who wasn't used today to see that. Killjoy is female in a male morph. Now, elsewhere we've got, we've got.
Oh, sorry, the feet hands are actually creeping me out. I can't scroll down that far.
Yeah, we've got things like a non-binary and an intersex for Chi. Fair enough. We've got a male in a sexless infomorph, and again a neuter, as they've put it, in a sexless infomorph. But with Killjoy, they really went the whole hog, and they have actually gone with that. I hesitate to say opposites because they're not really opposites, despite what people would say. But
The seeming contradiction
yeah.
is how I would put it.
But we've
This
got
feels
a
like a
firmly
game meant for
female
people
character in a male-
unafraid. Yeah. This feels like a game for people who are unafraid to fuck with gender.
Yeah,
Which is
and
part of why I love it.
I
because
think also,
I think that's a fantastic idea. Personally, because I did look at, because when my two options were Killjoy or Zahiri, I think I one of the reasons I didn't pick Killjoy is because I didn't know how to appropriately play that character on that basis.
in a quick play, I absolutely get that. But the other people that this game would be great for, apart from those who are totally unafraid, is those who are not actually afraid, but are perhaps a little nervous. And it's an opportunity to experiment with that, to play with it a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the things that's great about role-playing games, and particularly in the context of mental health, going back to what the channel's all about, is that they give you an idea to try and see someone else's perspective and someone else's point of view. And I've always thought there's two reasons to cross-play gender in a role-playing game. And one is because, honestly, all the bad reasons, it's the good old-fashioned, I'm going to play the hot sorceress and bonk everything that moves. And the other is to try and get a better understanding of what things are actually like. And that only really works if you've got the right GM. Because honestly, when I was growing up and learning playing AD&D, there were an awful lot of female characters in that all-male group, but there were also all-male GMs, so you didn't really get any kind of sense. They didn't help at all to get an idea of what it's like to be a woman, because what you were getting was still a male point of view. On the other hand, if you're a bloke playing a female character with a female GM, who is therefore being treated the way a female character would be treated, it is a genuine opportunity to get a better understanding of how women experience the world.
I mean, I did run for that lot when I joined. Dave Neal.
You did, but it was a
etc.
fairly small overlap compared to the amount of time that I played with them.
No,
So
that's fair.
Focusing
That's
on
fair.
the group before that.
I have to say, I've come up with my own personal headscape for this, for Kai, and if I continue playing this character, for some ungodly, the only bit that doesn't seem to click with me is the non-binary, and that's not that, oh my god, I can't cope with non-binary characters. Just this one.
It's
I
just
can well
something
believe Kai. I can well believe Kai was born intersex, maintains intersex morphs because that's what they're used to. That's what they like, and just mentally leans male. Not vastly, but just has that, just has that 5% tilt. And that would ring true to me, and I don't know why it is about that character, because I've played characters without a gender before, and I've played fellas, I've played women. Because I just tend to go with whatever the character seems to dictate.
Yeah.
Quite often.
I know that. I get that feeling.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
a character who I start rolling up as a woman suddenly swaps to a bloke halfway through because I go, no, that's not right.
I have jokingly referred to
Meanwhile,
myself
for
as a
me, it was
method
just
role player
habit.
in the past.
Yeah.
Because the characters make those decisions, not me. And to me, a big part of role play, because role play it's not about doing the voices or even speaking in character, which I actually didn't do for the NPCs all the way through this, virtually the entire game.
Yeah,
only it's role play is about thinking like the character, and as a result, acting like the character. So it doesn't matter whether you speak in character and whether you give them a recognizable, funny voice or accent or whatever. What matters is that you make the decisions based on what that character would do, not what you would do. And I think this is a game that is absolutely pushes that to the complete limit.
Yeah.
Because there's so much possibility in these characters.
Like, I can play a character, I can adopt their mannerisms and whatnot, but I can't do voices to save my life.
Yeah. I have a very limited
the only
selection
change,
of voices.
Yeah, I've got about 4
the only
voices.
change you might notice in my voice is from mannerisms, not actual voice work.
Yeah.
I have to say that
So,
the
like-
book club has helped me.
Well, as both GM and indeed the actual streamer here, I am going to put my foot down at this point and
Yes.
Okay,
call an end
thank
to
you.
this.
Yes.
I will
Thank
still
you very
remain
much.
on
Enjoyed
because
it.
I'm
Like-
nocturnal, so if anybody wants to continue this talk off stream afterwards, that's
Yeah.
absolutely fine with me. But for now, I am going to end this stream. I'm going to say thank you to everybody who's watched it. Thank you for those who were here
Thank
to
you.
watch it live, and also to anybody who may watch it on VOD afterwards.
Dead.
If you're not already following the channel, then please do so. Hopefully,
Do so.
we'll be able to bring more actual plays in addition to my Mapper Mondays to this channel in future. So that's good night from me. I'll let you guys say
Bye, all.
good night.
Take care. Bye.
Good night.
And as I always say, may your dice be hot and your characters cool.
1, 2, 3, 4. Whoa. Whoa. The fire's getting stronger.